Welcome to the Gfinity Arena and a Counter-Strike Saturday in the Elite Series at the business end of our inaugural season. 8 teams will be reduced to 4 at the end of next weekend as we race towards the semi-finals. We've had 3 awesome games already today and that playoff picture is getting a little clearer. Envious are at the top of the pile. They took the first map from Endpoint today and are guaranteed a place in the top 4. But Endpoint pulled off the shock of shocks, the first team to take a map from Envious, keeping their top 4 dreams alive. Epsilon won 4 in a row after beating Prophecy this afternoon and now cannot be caught in 2nd place. And Reason have been eliminated. They lost to Excel today and are the only team out of the running for those remaining top 4 places. We have 1 game remaining, Infused against Method, and it promises to be a belter. Infused are currently in the top 4. A win tonight would guarantee them a place in the semi-final. A huge achievement for a team not hugely fancied at the start of the competition. Method have to win. It is as simple as that. A draw or defeat tonight would not be enough. They would be eliminated from the playoff contention. So it is all on the line tonight. This is a high-pressure Counter-Strike as Infused take on Method. So here we are then, just walking down stage. Sponge, pleasure to have you with us, and SEO. Which hand do we go for? Look at this,
it's
an injury.
It's perfectly fine.
Anyway, we'll leave it. Gentlemen, it really is all on the line tonight as you have Team Infused taking on Method. It really is on the line because if they don't get that win, Method are out, and then Infused really needs to get into that playoff spot, don't they?
Yeah, I'm excited to see Infused potentially concrete that spot for a UK team. That'd be exciting to see them in the top 4. I like the mixture of players they got coming into this and excited for the game.
Yeah, I will fist bump. Go on, we'll fist bump a little bit. But you're feeling excited. This is a really tense match for everybody to get involved with Csgo, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. Obviously, we've got 2 UK teams going at it, and both teams are arguably, I wouldn't say the 2 that we were expecting to contest for the top 4 spot, but obviously, it is how it is at the moment.
Okay, well, listen, I'll tell you what, we will not be alone tonight. We've got some commentators and casters, but what we do have is Yasmin Evans on the front line right now. That deserves a little...
Look at me up here, look at me. This is the first time I've actually been up here and it's very intense. Here is Neil M. He was just pacing up before. He's all right, he's very concentrated. I'm not going to disrupt anyone. All right, so it's a very, very important match today, very important. They need this win Infused, okay? This win is going to guarantee them the top 4 position. They had a huge win last week against Prophecy and that legend has given you a guide to this wicked team. Let's take a look.
Thank you very much, Yasmin. Listen, I tell you what, a lot of excitement there. Up on the front line, how does she get to go and sit there and stand there with the guys? Would that put them off in any way, shape or form, SEO?
Shouldn't do. Like, obviously, you should be used to cameras or people being around you quite a lot when you're playing up there, so it shouldn't make any difference. So
we are excited. Infused have got a big match on their hands. After the 3 matches we had today, it is riding on Infused. It's in their sort of hands right now,
yeah,
whether they get that playoff spot.
Not only that, right, they came off the win against Prophecy last week, you know, the 2-0, which is a big win for them, and it's maybe a chance for them to steal away that 3rd spot as well. If they can take this one and going into next week, could be even more promising. Ending off the season with 3 in a row would be a nice way. But you've got, you know, some big players in this roster, some very tenured guys who are experienced and can lead the new guys to potentially another win. Yeah,
and then on the other hand, you've got Method, who, it's fair to say, underperformed so far in the Elite Series.
Yeah, definitely. They were my pick at the start of the season to be that UK slot in the final 4. However, they've underperformed greatly, and it's kind of been a bit of a shock, really, considering their form as of late.
And obviously, the star players for Method to stand out today?
I feel like it's got to be Weber. Like, he's been the clear standout player always in the UK scene. Like, people always thought he could go onto an EU lineup or start in EU teams, and he has been the standout player for me, other than Janko, obviously, but I feel like Weber's the standout one in this situation.
I agree. He's been on the cusp for a very long time, since Source days. You know, this is turning, rolling back the years quite a bit, so he's one that's up there. And then Pulse as well. I think he's a player who has a lot of potential. See if he can get anything done in this matchup.
Now, we just saw him just a second ago. He goes by the name of Neil M, and he is going to introduce us and everybody out there to Team Infused.
Team Infused. Fryer's our star player, main opener for the team, and he'll be a big impact in tonight's game. He's our calm, collective AWPer, just gets on with the game and listens to the calls. Aaron's our most experienced player. He's been around for 10 years in 1.6 and Csgo, and he's our rock to the team. Aaron's the opposite to Fry. He's very vocal, brings a lot to the team strats-wise, and his experience pulls through in every game. Red Snake's our in-game leader, again, like Aaron. Very experienced player. He's been around for 10 years in CS Source and Csgo. Red Snake's the guy who puts all the research into the other teams to get the ideas going for us before every game, every week, so he's very valuable in our team. Trials is our young gun to our team. This is his first big event and he's done extremely well in his support role so far with us in the first 5 weeks. Trials is kind of like me, very passionate. Every round we win, he's shouting to the team, and that's very important for us. MCK is also our second entry fragger alongside Aaron. He's very, very fast aiming, kind of one-tap style player. Mick on his good game, no one can stop him when he's aimed, but when he has a bad day, you don't want to know.
So there you have it, Neil M, the coach, the motivator for Team Infused, introducing us to Team Infused. They've got some great players on that team, some star players who are beginning to come into the Elite Series. They should be feeling a lot of hype and excitement about themselves because they managed to beat Prophecy last week, didn't they?
Yeah, they were the first UK team to get a result off the EU side, other than obviously today now. But, you know, mentioned star players, Fry one, perfect example of a star player. Since he's been there, he's been, I think he's top 5 in the elite rating and also top 5 in ADR.
He's definitely been a standout player for them. 50 kills last week, an ADR, an average damage rating of 97.5. It's in their hands, isn't it? And you've got Aaron as well, who's been in inspired form as well.
Yeah, so I touched on it before, but the thing with these guys is, and Neil did just in that little video, is about Aaron and Red Snake being the experienced players and then having 3 young guns. Now, to have the tenured experienced players like the Red Snake and Aaron to lead the team and to be basically a guiding force for the younger players is very important, because the new brand of Counter-Strike, these younger guys, you know, we've got some that they've won in 1999, you know, they've been they're not very old at all. They are pure CSGO players. These are guys who have adapted only to this version of the game, and they're the future. So to be able to lead them in this kind of environment is very important, and that's why I'm excited about the mix of this roster.
And we talk about him a lot. Some people say he's like Marmite, you shouldn't, leave him alone. Other people go, he's quite very entertaining to watch. But what is the role of Neil M? For anyone who's just joining us for the first time on CSGO, what does he do? What does he add to those players?
Well, I suppose, as you mentioned, he's Mr. Motivate is the big thing. Like, you know, it's quite easy to see he's that kind of guy. He's very vocal, very loud. He also adds a bit of tactics to the team. So, well, as far as he tells us, obviously, we can't tell that because we don't actually hear their communication.
You need something as well, you know, a coach, even he obviously is quite funny in the way that he can put himself on Twitter and in videos and that kind of stuff. So throughout the game, if they find like a pressure environment, he can crack a joke or, you know, calm the team down, and that's what you need. You need that 6th man to be able to make sure everyone is staying focused. So very important as well. Can
it be detrimental in any way? Because, you know, people are going to be watching today. So is there any way that he can really sort of get in the way of the players? I know you said at the beginning, you know, they're professional players, but it's still someone shouting in your ear, chewing your ear off. You don't want that sometimes.
Yeah, it depends on which side of him you get on, I suppose. Like, he's quite an emotional guy as well. Like, he probably gets more invested in the game emotionally than like the players do themselves. Like, the past weeks we've seen him sitting on the floor and things aren't going very well. So having your coach who's usually there, you know, motivating you on, be sat on the floor.
Okay.
It could put you down as well.
Yeah, and luckily, thank goodness, he hasn't got his fidget spinner with him today. Let's move on to Method and talk about them, because it really is all on the line for them tonight. You've got the experience of Weber, Nilzinho's there. You've got the exciting player that I want to talk about in a second, Genko. But you know, why haven't they performed? Is it the map selections? Is it just the team organisation, CT side? There's so many different things we could describe that have let them down.
From what I understand, there's been a bit of turmoil inside the team the past few weeks.
Like a little bit. I love a little bit of gossip.
Yeah, it's probably not worth talking about really, because obviously it might change day to day or week to week, obviously. But it's been a bit more inside the team. Like, in terms of playing, they've kind of had issues with maybe one another, like doing setups and stuff. They've had to change things around, which obviously alters, you know, your style of play or your skill really.
Genko, the man to watch, the real star player for Method. I know you were talking about experience of players before, but I mean, 203 kills. He's up there with some of the top performers in the Elite Series so far. He's a danger man for them.
Yeah, and once again, one of these younger players, right? One of these new breed. He definitely is just a pure CSGO player, hasn't really probably touched on the other iterations of 1.6 or Source. And to have someone like this come out and be able to put up good performances on a stage like this against more experienced guys, it's great to see. It's just the consistency level, right? Like, how much can you keep it up? And going in against Infused, that's the big question.
Okay, well, the man Neil M apparently can give us a little rundown on the Method team. This seems odd.
Team Method. My name is Neil's in Finley. I'm the in-game leader for Team Method Csgo. I'm studying right now, so this is kind of like my thing to do at the weekends. Brandon Weber, he's one of the most experienced players on our team, kind of like the star player. He's always quite serious, just wants to get the job done and he's professional, but he can have a laugh. Reese Post-Mars, he's more of like a support player in game. He's kind of the guy that will pick up the op, do all the support roles, just anything nitty-gritty work that he's done. Really down-to-earth guy, and he's really easy to talk to. Tremaine Stanley, he's one of the younger guys on our team. He's got the ability to kind of go off and hard frag, and that's what we kind of need this event, so hopefully he can bring that for us. He's kind of tame in game, and that's what we need. Tom Jenkinson, he's like the wonder kid of our team. He's just turned 17. He's one of the most skilled players I've ever played with. Yeah, he's a really nice guy outside of the game.
Indeed, what am I on about? Neil Zinho, of course, not Neil M, but it is confusing. There are two Neils up on those stages tonight. Method haven't got a win. This could be the night where they get that first win.
It'd be quite the stage to do it, really. It'd kind of disrupt the Infused momentum train, I suppose is the best way to put it, and obviously get a win on the board for them.
Yeah. Now, people come into CSGO understanding there's different roles to play on there. What does Neil Zinho do for the team?
As far as I can tell, he's the IGL, actually. But at the same time, I think Weber's been kind of pitching in as well. Usually he'd be the IGL, and he's been at the times the AWPer. Like, that team's kind of, I mentioned for like the first few weeks, they don't have a designated like AWPer that like, every one of them can kind of pick up the AWP and use it when they want to. So in the past few weeks, it's been like Neil Zinho picking up the AWP every now and then sometimes he's primary IGLing, maybe support. He kind of does a bit of everything, really. Okay,
and the IGL is a very important role for any of those teams up there because it really just sets the tone of what the team should be doing as a team.
Yeah, definitely. The in-game leader, he sets the tone, like you're saying. He calls the strategies, he makes all the decisions mid-round. It's very important to have a decisive in-game leader and one that's well respected. If your teammates are double guessing or second guessing and he calls or decisions you want to make, it can be really, really hard to achieve the strategies that you want. And if they're not listening and they're not responding in the way that you need them to, things can fall apart very quickly. And as you see, you probably see them getting up and yelling, and the in-game leader is also normally the emotional the center of the team that really pulls everyone else up and gets them going in the right direction.
Okay, well listen, it is important, the maps. We will be seeing 2 maps tonight. So what's going to happen is we'll take a little rest at the moment, and as soon as we can, we will get those picks, the vetoes, and then we will have Team Infused versus Method. Do not go anywhere.
Okay, so I am in our glorious and glamorous Players Lounge. This is actually one of the first times that I've been able to sit on one of these chairs because I'm not allowed. And I'm joined by Pickles and Boaster. Now, wasn't it 2 weeks ago that we said that you two were arch nemesis? Nemesis.
Boyfriends, actually. No, yeah. That's what he said. No.
Pickles is not impressed at all.
I have no idea what he's on about.
All right, so we are getting to crunch time pretty much in this Elite Series. Congratulations on this win today, because you needed it. Finally.
We're back, baby. That's all I can say. We needed a win. We got the win. And hopefully we'll get the win next week and everything will go swimmingly.
Yeah, it's a good word. It's a good word.
And then we'll be back.
Now today you're not really arch nemesis because you are both wanting that one team to lose. So you're sticking around for this final game, right, Pickles?
Yep.
That was like, I'm tired, but maybe.
Yeah, we're waiting around to see what the result is. Who do we need to win? I don't know who we need to win.
You need Infused to lose.
Do we?
Yeah.
I have no idea if I need to win or lose.
No, we don't want Infused to win.
Why?
No.
You
don't want Infused to win because then it gives you a chance.
Alright then, yeah, we're rooting for Method. Who do we need to win? Yeah, Method.
Yeah, but we don't want Infused to win because then that would destroy our chances.
Yeah.
If Method win, then we want them to lose next week.
This guy's on the ball.
Exactly.
This guy's on the ball.
I know my business.
Thank goodness for Boaster.
Yeah.
Now you love
That's
him.
why we're boyfriends, because like obviously he picks up where I fall down, that sort of thing.
Oh, now you claim it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? We're not boyfriends.
Now, Pickles, I want to ask you personally, how have you enjoyed the Elite Series up until? Because today's been a very intense day. A little bit different from the weeks leading up to now. But going forward, how confident are you?
Yeah, confident. We've got to play Reason. Every time we played them in online leagues a couple of times, and we've beat them every single time we played them. So next week, I'm pretty confident that we can 2-0 them. do we get through if we get one map? I don't know. We're going there to get the win, so...
Well, you had a massive steal today.
Yeah. Was it a steal? Or did you deserve it?
Ooh, maybe you deserved it then, yeah, but you're like the first team to do it.
Yeah, exactly, but... We could have won the first map as well, but we lost both pistols as well, so... I don't know if it was quite a steal, because both maps were quite close, but... Yeah, I think we deserved it.
It was a good thing.
There you go. Oh, there you go. Good thing, was it?
It was a good thing Imi wasn't there today.
Oh.
No comment.
Oh. All right, so you're both going to be sticking around. Boaster, I know that you've been enjoying your time here. Pickles, you're catching up to him. You're going to have the glasses next time. Back to you, Tom.
So this is what happens. This is what it comes down to. Method need to get a win tonight. And, well, it's in Infused hands because they can nail down a place in those playoffs. And it comes down to the map selection and the vetoes. There's a lot riding on this, a lot of tactics that go into it. So just bring us up to speed with that, SEO. So there's going to be some vetoes where they say, I don't want to play that map. What maps will Method try and avoid? What maps will Infused try and avoid?
So it's kind of interesting that both teams have in the past 5 weeks, they've both vetoed or gotten rid of train, like 80% of the time. Both teams have both vetoed the same map, which obviously means that one of them might try and bait the actual ban, maybe not ban it themselves, try and bait that sort of thing. However, I think Method will try to avoid maybe Inferno, for example. That's been a map that Infused seems quite comfortable on. I'd like to think that Infused are trying to avoid something like Overpass as well, because Method in the past have been quite good on it.
Okay.
And no one plays Nuke, so I'm assuming Nuke will go as well.
Why does nobody play Nuke? I just want to put that out there first.
It's a very tactical map, right? And if you start on the CT side of that map, then you're going to have a huge advantage. It's very biased to one side, so teams kind of don't want to have that risk going into it, and it's an easy one to remove. When you have a 7 map pool, you can basically get away with only worrying about 3. And if you know how the veto is going to go, when you're practicing, you can kind of work it out. You can theory craft these vetoes, right? So work out where you think it's going to end up, and you can just practice those 3 for the week. And Nuke is one that it seems like most teams here have wanted to stay away from.
Okay, so the picks are happening now. You can see Neil M and Red Snake and Neil Zinio. They look like they're having a laugh about it, but they're a little bit tense about what maps are going to get vetoed.
You want to call people's bluffs when you do this kind of stuff, make it tricky. This is part of the game, right? The veto is a huge factor because if you can pull out a map that they weren't expecting, you're going to have a really big advantage going into the matchup.
It's a mind game. So 2 maps already vetoed, now a 3rd one, Train. What do you think about that, SEO?
Yeah, so usually Method of veto Train first. So obviously they started by trying the mind game, like we normally veto Train, but we're not going to do it first this time. Infused then did the same by getting rid of Nuke, which then Method kind of went, okay, we really don't want to play Train, so we'll get rid of it. And if I remember correctly, Infused, I'd expect an Overpass ban. Like that's what I mentioned earlier. The Nuke was kind of...
Hello.
Yeah, okay.
I love it when he's spot on. That's what I love about SEO. He's always spot on.
Mirage, Cache, Cobble left. Cobble's actually a map that's good for both teams. And it's been picked by Method, which is quite a confidence pick. And then Mirage, which Method have played quite a few times this Elite Series.
Yeah, well, Infused has won Mirage 3 times, and Method has won it twice. So it's a map that they're both comfortable on. And Cobble, like you said, yeah, they both won that map once as well. So good matchup for both teams. I'd be happy with this. It's just going to be coming down to probably, you know, the pace and the set strategies, which kind of game plan is going to prevail.
Okay, so we've seen Cobblestone a couple of times today in the matchup. So to remind everybody, what's going to happen in this map? How do you play this map? How can Method play it? They've chosen it to win it. And how can Infused have a little bit of an upset with them?
Well, I think, you know, on this map, there's one key zone, and that's the drop zone towards that B-bomb site. If you can get control of that, you're able to dictate, you know, A splits, you're able to split onto the B-bomb site. It gives you a lot of control and puts a lot of fear in the CT's hearts and minds, I guess, because it's such a pivotal position. It's also very difficult to hold. That's one of the areas that I think is going to be highly contested, and it can be a very execute-heavy map. And what I mean by that is a lot of utility, a lot of flashbangs, smoke grenades can be used from safe positions to orchestrate some really nice attacks. And that's something, you know, if you're well drilled, you've done your dry runs, can be a nice little quiver in your quiver.
A quiver. I like that.
Arrow in your quiver.
Quill? Is it a quill?
Yeah,
I don't know where they live.
Where are the team when we need them on the dictionary corner? Listen, SEO, but it's right. Sponge is putting it right there. If Method have got their tactics in place, they're going to use the utilities, they're going to get everything as they want it, then they should win this. But what are the sort of counterpoints for Infused to come in there and win it?
Well, obviously, Infused have played it quite a few times. I think it was last week against Prophecy that they played it as well, and they did get a win. The one thing I'm kind of concerned about for Infused is this is the map that Envy nearly lost to Method on.
Okay.
And in the battle, actually week 1, I think it was, that Infused got stomped by Envy on Cobble. Yeah. Obviously, it's a bit of a different team now comparing from week 1 to week 6, but it's kind of worth remembering, I suppose, is the best way to put it.
What would you say, if I was to put you on a spot, are the keys to victory in this map?
I suppose map control would probably be a good thing to actually look at. Obviously, Sponge mentioned drop control. That's a huge section because you can split off the CTs. I actually say that the B plat control is a similar thing because it's a highly pressured area. People tend to use a lot of grenades towards it just to kind of either keep people off or shove people further back, obviously, if you're on the C side. Okay. So it'd be those 2 areas for map control, and then for Infused, key to victory, I'd probably say Fry 1, getting on the ball. Yeah,
he has been deadly. All right, well, it seems only fair to ask a prediction for this. It's a real crunch match. People are excited about it. They're tense. The players are sort of getting ready right now. But to put you on the spot as well, Sponge, it wouldn't be fair if I just put SEO on the spot. For a prediction for this one on map Cobblestone, Method or Team Infused?
I'm going to lean towards Infused here. I think they have more to play for in the sense of this could cement their spot or potentially cement their spot within that top 3 or 4. Whereas Method are kind of playing just to maybe stay in contention. Obviously, there's all that pride on the line and that kind of stuff, but definitely leaning towards Infused for this one.
Okay, it's gone up there, as you can see on your screens right now. SEO? SEO? Come on, I need it.
I feel like I'm going for Method. I feel like they actually are quite, I feel like they hold their pride quite high, so I feel like this is a big fight for them.
Okay, so the predictions have come from Sponge and SEO. We're excited about this. We may as well talk about the second map, because if it goes, as you say, Infused way, then they were on their own map with Mirage. Now, we've seen that several times today, Mirage. It's an exciting map, very much a kind of, does it lend itself to a puggy sort of play where everyone's out for themselves? You don't have to be as tactical as you would do on some of the other maps.
Yeah, look, it's one where you can find a lot more room and a lot more space if you can just use your basic utility, and you can do more individual plays. You don't require the teamwork to the same level. Once you get that mid control, people can push into different areas of the map and catch CTs off as they're rotating when you're distracting on other sections. So it's one that the Ts, you can do a lot more plays, I call them, right? You can actually make the round win yourself, basically. I think puggy is a great way to definitely describe it, but the CT sides is something that we've seen a lot of people struggle with, and this is one where you need a lot of utility to shut down the choke points, and that's where I think this game will probably be won or lost.
Okay, and what about yourself, SEO?
Yeah, I suppose it's a yes and no, obviously, because this map is actually it's possible to be quite execute heavy at the same time as it being puggy. Like, Sponge mentioned the openness of it, like you'd be able to run around and kind of, abuse the fact that you've got superior aim, for example. Yeah. It's something that Infused might abuse, I feel, especially as they've got a few aim styles on that side.
Now, before I go and have a quick chat with the casters and the commentators, I've got to ask this, because I saw this in the news the other day. 2024, the Olympics could see esports taking a prominent place in there. Could Csgo make it? Could be a gold medal. Would you come out of retirement, Sponge? Could that possibly happen?
No, I don't think we'll pay enough.
Okay, okay. Not even for the pride to have a gold medal for Csgo esports?
That's all right.
No?
Nah, I'm all good.
SEO, will you come out of retirement if it goes to the Olympics in 2024? I can't even imagine how old you'd be at that point.
Yeah, no, I don't think I would.
Okay, well, there's the cheerfulness from those two boys. What I'm going to do, unbelievable. They don't want an Olympic gold medal. I'm going to come over here. Henry G, looking dapper, as always. Lovely to see you.
Oh, you've gone for the handshake this time.
I've gone formal. Why not?
Yeah, you've really upped it.
You've heard from them over there, the real, sort of party poopers. 2024 could be esports at the Olympics. Surely you both come out of retirement.
We're going to make a team, Lauren. And I think, Tom, you want to be the coach? You could be behind us, be the
Neil M.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not very good with a fidget spinner, but I will definitely do it. And let's talk about the map that's coming up right now.
Sure.
We've got Team Infused taking on Method. How do you see map 1 going on Cobblestone?
I don't know, right? This is hard for me. I've seen Infused in the highest highs and lowest lows, it feels. Their game against Prophecy was a brilliant example of what they should be able to achieve. But we haven't seen that the entire season, even though they are in 4th. Let's bear in mind as well, Method have actually had a decent season. They're just drawing a lot, but they're beating decent opponents.
But how do you turn that around? Sorry, Henry. How do you turn that around? How do you go from a drawing team into a team that is going to get that team?
You start getting the 2-0s, Tom. This is the time to do it right now.
Simple as that.
Proper British derby coming in here. These are two teams that are quite similar in terms of their approach here. Two grizzled veterans with younger players around them as well. We're hoping that Method can turn up. I've been a fan of all these guys for a long time, right? Especially Weber, Neil Zeno, Pulse. These are big names, and they're just not delivering so far. But this is it now. Last chance, ready to make the playoffs. They need to step up today.
You're a fan of them,
MG,
yeah. But if I was to put you on a spot like I did with those two party poopers, who would you go for?
That's the thing. I think they've broken my heart one too many times now. So I'm going to have to say my boys Infused, they're going to do it.
Oh, he's talking love there, isn't he? And it hurts. Love hurts. Love stinks sometimes. So Pansy, what do you reckon? Method or Infused for this map, Cobblestone?
I actually think Method could have a shout on this. I want to see Infused win, but I think that Method could do it.
Okay, well, listen, I'm going to hand it over to your capable hands. Henry G, Pansy, looking forward to map 1 with Team Infused versus Method.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a rather tasty prospect, isn't it, Henry?
I think so. The fact is, we've talked about it, Method underperforming all season so far, but this is it. Last chance saloon for them. They need the 3-points here, and they need both maps. A team in turmoil. Essio alluded to it. He's saying they've definitely had some problems within the team, it's fair to say, and that's quite a prominent feature of UK teams, so it's no surprise really.
Nothing
but
new.
Still, they've got skill there. Bucket loads of it, and hopefully they can step up here. This is their map pick. We're kicking it off on Cobblestone, and we'll be starting momentarily. So, Cobble. It's a map that requires tactics, synergy, teamwork. And Infused against Prophecy last week, they showed us what they could do. They looked like a decent team. I was actually pleasantly surprised from what I heard about at the beginning of the season to what they showed in that game. It actually looked quite good.
And you've got to feel, though, it was almost the polar opposite in week 5 for Method. They drew 1-1 with Reason, which was kind of something that shouldn't be happening to them. Again, they seem to suffer from this splitting a series. They've managed to, draw up with Epsilon, who are tipped to be one of the better teams out here, individually skilled, a lot of power, had a questionable start, of course, but it's hard to look at Method and just deny that there's ability there, because you look at the roster, you look at the veterans, you look at the map pool, you look at the results, but they just can't get the 2 zeros.
I'm not sure what it is, and it's never too late though, Lauren. So tonight they get the 3 points, they find themselves a 6, and they still have a chance of making that 4th place. Obviously, Infused, I think they're a bit hungrier for this one after their performance last week, getting that first big win, and looking to almost be cemented at 4th place down. I think if they pick up just one map tonight, they'll be in pretty good stead to do that. Get the 2-0 pretty much locked in. So they're going to be wanting that the 3 points like tremendously.
Absolutely, especially with Endpoint lighting a fire now under the rest of the teams. Then being able to pick up a win, chip one away from one of the top teams as well, getting a little bit closer to it. And Infused did win the knife while we were having a little chat there, so we can find out which side they're going to be starting on. Did they opt for T? This could be quite interesting. That'd be a nice little touch if they're feeling confident coming into it.
We know the CT size of these UK teams has been lackluster at best, so maybe that's some sort of psychology there. We'll see. Infused kick things off though with 1 smoke, 2 flashbangs. Most teams do favour towards that B bomb site, and that's indeed where they'll be heading. That smoke presumably used towards connector or the upper platform if they like. Depends which way they want to go with it. A couple of flashbangs over. And now they're slowing things down, hoping a mistake is made by the CT. It's going to be Weber challenging and dueling towards that upper run.
But I like this from the CT side as well. I like the 4-1 play. Neil's on his own by A, but the breakthrough's already happened. Trials is going to find Stanley, and that's a problem now. Weber needs to step up. The superstar, people described him as, but he needs to deliver. It's Jenko behind him finding Aaron, and there it is. Solid as a rock, it seems, Weber. There's the control you want to see from Method, and a good start to this game. First round on the board, a nice confidence builder to get things started with.
Yeah, there's been times where Weber has been the absolute best player in the UK. Never really found the stardom or, I guess, the notoriety he deserves in terms of making it to a big team, but always going to be a danger on the server. He delivers there in the pistol round. 3 big headshots, probably staying alive longer than he should have done. On those steps there, they couldn't quite find the headshot, but he finds 3 kills with the P2000, delivers the round victory for Method there, and Infused a very basic approach. I was a little bit disappointed with that one. Didn't really work out for them, but they will be force buying here in the second round. Tech-9s, P250s, and a deagle for Aaron. We'll see if he can step up here. Another very skilled player on the Infused side. It's 1-0 in favour of Method. They've got 1 rifle here, 4 SMGs. We'll see if they can hold off the incoming approach towards drop down.
Yeah, Trials with the only smoke really to make a play with. Probably going to drop it off towards the electric box side of drop. Maybe split towards A as they have those 2 players waiting towards middle. But see if they can bring those guns to bear. They do operate so well in close range, but Pulse seems aware this could be a possibility, so falls back. Smartly done, but seems unaware of it. Trials then strikes. This could be now a problem. The A pinch has begun. The 2 players who can stop this before it starts, one is Weber. Did well before, but not this time. Red Snake is there. The headshot comes through now. Niels is surrounded on all fronts. They're even winning the fight over by drop that they shouldn't be doing, and Niels gets his gun out. Pistol is not enough to do it. And Aaron punishes. Now it's down to Stanley on the retake, and what a turn of events, Henry.
They're always the most gutting rounds to give away after you really fight for that pistol, get the victory there, expecting that 3-0, losing to the Tech-9s. Always can be very disappointing there. Towards drop down, an A split technically coming through 2 players in middle as well, 3 players in the drop down area. It's a duel that Weber had to win there. In that danger room, he had to find at least 1 frag, couldn't do it. Red Snake found him with the Tech-9, and then nothing could be recovered by Neilzinho. It's a difficult round to give away, but Method will be rebuying round number 3 here. They've got Deagles, and they've got a UMP in the hands of Stanley as well, one of the young guns we talked about in the pre-game. 1 smoke to work with. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Looking at the Infused buy. Okay, Stanley, that was very aggressive. Before I can even finish my sentence, he's running towards drop down. Normally you want to hold that position and see if someone walks into your crosshair. He makes a lot of noise and gives away their only weapon there. The UMP goes down. At this point, Infused, they can just bide their time. They don't have to do anything now. They've got the 5-on-4, work out whether there's any stacks towards this side of the map, use their utility, and then go in together.
That's the important thing, isn't it? Chad mentioned it on the desk. Sponge, bringing up the utility allows you so many opportunities on this map, especially in rounds like this. You can just kind of avoid the risks almost. You put a couple of Molotovs down, you can work around it.
Risks, and that's the thing. You want to be using that utility as best you can, but here we go. One frag for Yenko, and that's all he'll get for now. Red Snake gets the refrag, and that's fine. They keep the advantage.
It's going to get a little bit deadly. Pulse certainly has an opportunity here. Lovely shot towards one. If he can hit the follow-up, that'd be brilliant, but Niels is there. And suddenly we're in trouble. That utility's not being used. They're just depending on the firepower, and it's cost them dearly. Weber. Anything to be done here for you? A 1v2, not easy. Position already noted. Nothing to make the play with apart from the Deagle to hand, and now a UMP off to the side. Fry looking to keep it under control. I think they might have caught a glimpse on the radar then. Flash comes in. Fry tries to back. Good tag. That's all becoming a little more possible. Spam goes in. And the time ticks. There it is. Good work from Fry. And you can tell this is a bit of a grudge match. There's something between these two teams.
Yeah, it's back and forth so far. A close round there. Not as pretty as I'd like from Infused there. They got that man advantage and seemed to get almost ahead of themselves, running out one by one through the drop-down area. Didn't use the smokes or the Molotovs we previously discussed. They had those available as well. It seemed to get a little bit anxious in that situation, but it was fine. A 2 versus 1 works out in their favor. Weber unable to make anything happen there with the Desert Eagle. Has to be the full eco for Method at this point. Nothing really invested into the round. They got $600 in total brought into round number 4. That's 2 PT50s. Nothing else at all. And it's going to be a B rush from Infused. These sort of rounds, it's fine just to rush Bs. You know they've got absolutely nothing to hold you off, and there's actually an open bomb site as well. No one waiting for them. Round done. I hate to be a pessimist, but there's no way that the Seeds can do anything about this. No,
I liked what Method were doing. I guess you could call it the Virtus Pro, right? The line of players over in middle. Exactly, and it's a nice idea. If they do come middle, you probably get a gun away. You make it a little more costly than expected, but you wouldn't expect much more. But all that aside, that's a little bit costly, losing out on a rifle
No
there.
need for it as well. You know that Fulika, you're the one who's got something to give away. That's an AK-47, and that's Trials with the younger players maybe showing his inexperience there. There's really nothing to benefit from that position, that sort of play. He jumped out the window, he's given away his 4K buy instead of maybe finding a kill for $300. They've got nothing to save. You might as well exit together. Give no chance to you to drop by yourself. And here we go, Red Snake and Aaron rectifying the situation, but the damage has already been done, really.
Lovely intuition from Aaron as well. Instantly looking towards the smoke, expecting maybe some more pressure, and there was Genko. So beautifully done, and that's kind of what you want to see as well. Aaron starting to get into this. If he starts to really build into the game, there's a lot of fire this guy can bring, whether it be the impact on the team, what you hear behind, or literally the impact he individually has.
He's always been a hot property within UK CSGO. He's a very well-rounded player, very experienced as well, dating up to 1.6 and played for big teams in source like MTW as well. Never the star player, but always just very good, safe set of hands, and that's what he brings to Team Infused. And we'll see if they continue this good form and go into round number 5 here. 3-1 in favour of Infused. They're going to have a B7 here and a faster approach. They know that CTs have forced a couple of rounds in a row. Money won't be great. They're going straight in. All in as Genko. He's ready to defend off the speed bomb side.
4-1 again. This time you're going to have Niels being over here rather than it being Weber, and he's done very well. Stanley then joining in at the right time, not allowing the split to come through, in a very, very swift shutdown there. No real shot for Infused to make 3. It felt a little disjointed. It felt a little bit here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, it's one of those rounds. You know the CT money's low. You want to throw a spanner in the works, keep changing the pace. They've had a few defaults now. You've got an MP7 there. Throw some basic smokes, flashbangs, and just hope the CTs aren't ready for you. If you win that round, you probably run away with a half. But as you can see, Method ready and waiting. Crossfires, nothing too flashy. Hitting the shots that counted. Only dropped 2 frags as well. But still, Infused are fine with that. They knew that was a bit of a bonus round for them. They had the MP7 there, Galil as well. We get to round number 6, and the AWP comes out for Fry. A player a lot of people have been talking about. He impressed us against Prophecy as well. Some great AWPing there. We'll see if he can step up here around number 6.
No, it does seem to be that Fry against Genko battle for the young gun, doesn't it, between these two? So keep your eyes on both and see who comes out, I guess, the best at this point. He's playing a very passive role. Just sitting back, seeing if anyone's going to be pushing towards A, all the way back by Fountain. So I can imagine Infused here going to take a bit more of a slower approach.
This will be a classic default. It's very rare for a CT to push long A as he's waiting for in the top and middle. So they're just holding up and seeing the CT's making any mistakes, bleed out some utility here, try and get control of drop down and the upper platform as well. Primarily the former. And you can see Red Snake and Trials ready and waiting there, dropping some utility now, flashbangs as well. They won't be committing to the bomb site here. They're trying to find the first pick, but Pulse looking to shut that idea down.
Well, Niels was in this exact spot last round, but it seems to work again. Finding Red Snake, but the follow-up not going to be there, but still a kill is a kill. It's not a bad way to get things started, but it is a 4v4, so it does sit quite uncomfortably with the CT side, even though the HP is still better off overall.
Yeah, technically it does favour the terraces, so refrag's absolutely fine. They do manage to get control of the drop down as well, so looking in pretty good stead as we hit the 40-second mark. CT's now have 1 incendiary, a few flashbangs, so Infused have done a very good job bleeding them out. You can see they've still got 3 smokes. They can still fully execute here. And we'll see whether Genko can find the next frag.
This could be huge. 30 seconds left. Anything he stops. Oh, it's perfect from Genko. 3 kills. Aaron, Trials, and Mick all suffer. It's down to Fry, but he's got 20 seconds. Nothing to be done, and Stanley secures the deal, but a lovely bit of work from him.
He had to step up there. Like I said, they had no utility to hold off a full execution there. They didn't really have much information. He gets flashed in, finds that 3-man spray down as well. You can see Infused, they just didn't see that coming. They weren't ready for it whatsoever. They line up quite nicely for him, and he's going to be very happy with that indeed. Sure, he only gets 3. He gets taken down, but the job was already done. 20 seconds, as you mentioned, they know exactly what the last player is. Lovely work from Method. Just when you feel like you've got nothing to really work with, their time ticking away, you just want to find out what they're doing. A 3-man spray down for the young man. Very good indeed. Round number 7, and Infused with no bomb plants the last couple of rounds. After taking Eco, it will be Desert Eagles, Tech 9s and PT50s. They managed to get 3 sets of armor as well. Trials with the head armor, but no nades, Lauren. That's going to be difficult to even enter a bomb site with that sort of buy.
Absolutely. You can see Method starting to wind up a little bit here and starting to get a little bit more awake. Bear in mind, this is the last game of the day, so they've been keenly watching all the other games. Of course, Infused, I guess, run through this depends on many other teams at this point as well. That's can be said for Method, but still. Last time we saw Weber being tested here, he didn't really come up to scratch. It was actually the Tech 9 that took him down at that point. Does still have Niels there with him this time, so no 4-1 that we're seeing. Oh, a little bit of danger going to be put down there. Molly up towards drop, doesn't find anyone, and here's the crossfire. Niels spots 1, spots 2. That's lovely from Niels. Not letting it get away from him. Red Snake still for... Oh, God, Weber just gets pushed aside. Red Snake absolutely battering them. But Pulse gets there in time, but... he's doing all right with that Tech 9, Henry.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He's known as one of the lesser fraggers in UKCS. Definitely experienced player, but had a rough time here in the Elite Series. He's the in-game leader. That's what he brings to the team. But the last few weeks, he's been posting numbers like 4 kills in a map, 5 kills in a map. But seems to be today, especially with that Tech 9, he's stepping up. And you can see them on screen right now. It's discussing the idea. Obviously, we talk about Neil M a lot. He helps out the tactics as well. The coaches are allowed to talk throughout the halves as we go on. So we'll see whether he can actually lend his mind to the Infused side. But it's going to be Method now taking the lead at 4-3. All coming out for Genko. Looks like another fast B approach here. Through the smoke they go. It's Aaron to lead the charge.
Oh, good flash will force at least Genko off the angle for now. He will have a bite to the cherry, but misses, and there's the punish from MTK. This is lovely work from Infused. This is the pace you wanted to see coming out at the beginning. That very all-encompassing hit coming through. No gaps in the hit, no hesitation. Lovely work, bomb plant. Weber is completely locked out.
Really much he could do about that. Let's came down to hitting some shots there. Genko, we needed him to start hitting some shots with the AWP. If he hits one of those, he buys himself a bit more time, allows some rotations from his teammates there. But Aaron, not messing around whatsoever. Hits the first shot. Sure, he goes down, but the job had been done. They cracked open that B bomb site efficiently. The B rush working out quite nicely. A few smokes in there as well. It wasn't a complete dry hit. Smokes down, flashes out, make things uncomfortable with the CTs. And if they miss a few shots, they're going to get punished for that. That's exactly what happens here. Infused tie things up at 4-4. And we'll see whether they can lock down Weber as well, who had an amazing pistol round, but has been quite quiet since then, having a bit of trouble towards that danger area. He's holding the A side of the map, and for now, he's up in the tower, hoping to save onto his M4. And it's quite a valuable save as well. He sees all the incendiary, the smoke, the flashbang as well, and a diffuse kit. That's a lot of utility to take to the next round. There he is in his screen right now. I assume he survived. They didn't look like they were anywhere near him.
Yeah. Likely they found it.
Now, the good thing is for Infused is they're in charge of the pace. They're dictating the way this game's going. They've done some defaults, they've done some executions, they've tried a couple of rushes now. So Method are going to be a little bit worried as to what they'll be presenting going forward now. I assume the money will be okay for the CTs. Yeah, so okay, definitely. So it's going to be like a FAMAS, a UMP, a couple of M4s there. They are fully invested into this one. 1-2 kits and a little bit of utility as well. It's not the ideal, but certainly enough to win around here. Molotov's used at the start of pushing these CTs back. They wanted to get aggressive there on the upper platform, but another default round here as Red Snake watches towards long A.
First time we've seen a rifler kind of soloing out towards A. Last time we saw Fry kind of very passively wait and see if anyone pushes. Maybe they're just trying to get the feel of how Method play that A side of things. They've had a good couple of bits of success with the Tech 9, so they certainly have an idea of it. But Aaron still having a look towards platform. Smoke goes up, flash comes out. They are trying to work that utility away, and they've done very well at that.
Yeah, look at the CTs, what they've got left. They've got flashbangs, that's it. No smoke, no incendiaries. It's once again, it's Infused, bleeding them out. And this is when we need to see players like Csgo flash in, try and get that first pick, because you know you're not going to be able to hold off the full execution with not really much to work with there. Flashbangs can be powerful, but Aaron, he's encroaching towards the B side here. Csgo towards the hobby hole. Stanley boosts up in the tree as well, so trying to be a little bit more diverse with their setups here. Stanley,
Oh, that Molotov.
Yeah, has to drop off.
Absolutely lovely. Stanley's going to be suffering off the back of that. Good flash.
Oh dear.
He's still in it. No! It trickled off the edge and he just wasn't aware. The flash was well timed on it. And Pulse now has so much to worry about. Drops vulnerable. He doesn't know that it's safe for now. Everyone's already come through from form. You can see the kills are coming in. Trials there, lands towards Niels, and he pushes forward. The young man's come alive in this one. And now Weber, again, locked out. Very little to do at this point.
Yeah, that tree play. Sure, he made the right call, dropping off, but you can see that's a set-piece Molotov, meaning it's a lineup. You know exactly where it's going to go. It hits the tree, sure, but it does trick it off beneath as well. And you combo that with a flashbang, you assume you've dropped down and you're safe, and he's just taking damage. And before he realized, he'd already gone down knife in hand as well. So a lovely start there from Infused, keeping 4 players alive as well. Sure, Method did a load of damage. You can see the HP remaining from Infused, but it's not enough. They're not finding frags here. 1 per round is not going to be enough to actually get more rounds on the board here. Weber, once again, he's holding A. He's their star player. He's not really getting a chance to really sink his teeth into this first half. He's on the A side of the map, and they might want to consider changing the setups at this point. He's getting none of the action. I think Infused are very happy with that. They can stay away from Weber. Don't give him anything to work with there. Keep shutting down his B site time and time again. They're absolutely fine. I don't think we've seen the bomb go down on the A site as of yet. Heavily focusing towards B, and Weber not getting a look in once again.
This is Trials finding so much room to work here. Lovely little follow-up towards Pulse at the end, but beautifully done. But yeah, as I said, I'm hoping Weber finds more of a bit of play here, because he does seem to kind of fall to the shadows a lot, even career-wise.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely true. Like, it's been a little bit of a disappointing career in CSGO for him. At one point, one of the hottest properties in CS, British CS Source, and hasn't really found his feet in CSGO. It's been 5 years now, and it still just hasn't happened for him. We'll see what he can do going forward. I've heard some rumors, and maybe he'll have a resurgence, who knows. Either way, he's got the M4A4 in this round, and his teammates, they have to eco. It's round number 10. Let's see if the star can step up here. He is towards the B side of stance, where Infused have been favouring. He needs to find some tremendous headshots here if they're going to stand any sort of chance to win this round.
Yeah, this would be one of the rounds to really put him on the board if this is a statement piece from him. If he can make something happen, brilliantly done. The rest of his teammates, of course, have very little to play with. Upgraded pistols. No utility. One flash goes in. Fry has a little look, and already Weber's down to 15. Disappointing for him. And you can see Mick already just taking strides in the right direction. There goes the gun, and there goes the rest of the teammates. Csgo's still trying to do work, and Pulse did find Fry, but by this point they are just hunting them down like a pack of wolves. And no more to be found.
There it is. And just to note as well, for any new viewers out there, the reason they started screaming so much when they killed Weber, they knew he was the player from the last round to save that rifle. So as soon as they kill him, that's a big scab to take. They know they've guaranteed the round at that point. So that's why we hit the big cheer when that second kill came in. Like you said, Weber down to 15 HP. Ideally wants to throw the gun over, but wasn't really the opportunity to do that. Mick managing to find a few frags there, 3 in total. And that's lovely stuff. Once again, that B bomb site, it's a massive issue here. And Method, that is chasing Infused now. It's 6-4. They have to keep buying into this one. Famises, M4s, no kits. They do have the utility to work with here, but it's just not working out. They're not changing the setup either. It's 2 towards long A, 3 at B. They're not getting picks with this one, and Infused don't seem to be even flirting with the idea to go towards the A side.
It's all in their hands as well. If Infused do decide, oh, let's just switch it up on them. Let's throw them a bit of a curveball.
The only time I've seen Infused go towards danger and long A is when they have those Tech 9s. And it's working out for them as well. So I guess they are showing presence there in some senses. But in the gun rounds, most teams will go towards long A, push the CTs back, take that vision away, then go back towards B. Infused is a very simple game plan, but it's working out for them. The B defensive method seems to be very weak.
Here we go. This could be the first time we're seeing a little bit of a play towards A. This could also play in Weber, bear in mind. Been talking a lot about this man, but haven't seen much played off the back of it. Niels has actually been taking a bit of the spotlight in that sense, which is something you don't often see or normally...
No, similar to Red Snake. An in-game leader, a veteran, but not known as the highest fragger for the team.
Yeah. Certainly not a role he should be given either. He's very good at what he does, so doesn't necessarily need to be the one to bring the 5 out, but Trials is picking so much room. He's selling a bit of a kipper, and oh, what a shot as well. Weber falls. Ooh. If the follow-up happened, that would have been absolutely incredible. Csgo, I think, has a great idea about this as well. The Molotov's going to give it away a little bit here, but oh, he's still doing work. Csgo, that's 2. The third's just out of reach, but that plays in Pulse now.
Here we go, the bomb's down, so the cities can rotate in. Aaron, I'd have liked it if he got a bit more aggressive there, maybe towards the steps position, find that refrag, but now the CTs have all the information and the advantage as well. Fry will be joining Aaron, no nades to work with here, but can they find the headshots required? Smoke will be deployed. Up to Fry now, one of the young guns for the team. It's Pulse waiting behind the statue.
10 seconds. It's got to go perfectly for Infused, and it's so unlikely. 9. The play comes in. The bomb's gone down. Fry needs to find all 3 in 5. Well, 2 now in 3 seconds. It's not going to happen. No, not got the AWP yet.
He's got it.
He's got it. All right, fair enough. Had a little bit of a fumble in the end, but it's fine. I guess we saw finally a little bit of a slowdown.
Well, and it didn't really work out, but they tried to go towards A, Lauren. Maybe to stick to your guns, keep going up B side. To be fair, they got a decent trade there, but it's Csgo managing to do good work here, dancing in the flames as well. He gets 2 kills and sets his teammates up, and they tried to plant the bomb in the smoke there, but Stanley, obviously aware of it, willing to sacrifice himself to deny that plant. It goes down very well for him, but unfortunately for Method, sure they win the round, but only 2 players survive. That means there's a lot of reset potential here. This is the must-win round, and it's Weber down to the UMP, like I said, the star player. Let's just rush B again, boys. It worked out before. Surely it's going to work again.
Csgo, when he can get aggressive, you can see he can do damage, but right then he's just resting on his laurels and there's nothing to be done. Again, Infused, brute force through towards B. 4 players alive. Everything's going well for them, and it's down to the classics, the duo, Niels and Weber, to try and play this one off, but so far not been happening, but Niels showing some real prowess here.
No need for that. He's by himself. You've got smokes down to get towards the platform as well. Sure, you want to set up the trifecta of doom, platform, tree, and the chicken house as well, but still, that was not required. He gives the kill away for free, and Weber's coming to the flank. They don't see this as a possibility as well. These are free frags. Why are they not checking the platform? The flashbangs are good as well. Surely Method win this round. There it is, both frags. Extremely sloppy from the Infused side there. That was not good enough. Red Steak especially. No need to push out there. Just gives his kill away for free. He's hungry. Not known as an aimer, not known as a jeweler like that. He wants to be holding an angle, getting guaranteed frags and making them come to him, but a misstep gives it away, and Method could be very happy that situation around. They potentially shouldn't have won that, Lauren.
You can see them and hear them discussing how to handle those B hits. Jumping to Speedway, we need early nades. They're trying to think of a way to handle it.
Well, that's the thing. They're lucky to get away with that. They lose the first 2-3 frags there with 1 trade.
Yep.
A 4-on-2, I think that was. And Neil gifted some M4 kills there. That shouldn't be happening. So, looks like Infused, like we said, dictating the pace right now. Did some B rushes before. Now it's doing a full-on A execution. Weber has to fall back. Good rotations from Neil Zeno, though. Spots him. Flashbang comes out. As we Weber with the AWP trying to shut them down.
Weber, you better be ready to deliver us something rather nice here. First will come, and the second will follow. Aaron punished for trying his best, and Pulse is there to support. Nice play from him to fill when required. It's down to Fry and Mick to try and find a room to work with here, but so unlikely. So many opponents in great positions too. Good work from Fry there to alleviate the pressure over by Stables. Smoke goes in towards door. Has a little look. Doesn't see anyone yet.
A chance here now. That's a lovely frag towards long A. Takes down the AWP. Mick getting some positional control as well. Looking towards the murder hole. Just about gives the frag. Stanley, that is. He takes him down, and now it's a 3 versus 1 for Fry. He's had some great rounds so far, but this might be a little bit too much of a reach for him. Flashbangs coming in. They're not effective, but it looks like they'll get the kill regardless. Pulse, not the easiest of spray downs, but manages to pull it off just about there. And now Infused, it seems like they're crumbling slightly, I have to say. Some of those rounds, sure, they're getting towards the B side, but some key plays there, some big mistakes, and now towards the A side, that full-on rush, and it's Weber with the AWP finally coming to life now, looking like he's getting in his zone. And Infused might be out of ideas here. They're just relying heavily on these rush B. Let's rush A. Sure, it could work against a UK team. You know, the CT defenses are weak, but right now, Method is starting to show up.
Yeah, look at the money. It's been pretty shattered here. And Mick onto the CZ, Tech 9s. You know, keep it simple. It seems is the name of the game here. Just keep applying pressure, and I guess until it breaks. And I guess if Fry can deliver this more often than not, then you've got a fair bit of potential, but it's unlikely you should be able to do this on a regular basis. But somehow, it seems to work. How are these rounds happening? Henry, I don't understand.
It just seems that they can't handle this B site. It's a real problem for Method, and why not? If you're Infused, you know it's so poor over there. You're winning, like the round they lost before, they got all the entry kills. It's just a post-plant situation that fell apart, but they've gone Galil's Tech 9s there, rushed in towards me. I think they had a couple of AKs as well, just working together. It's Fry. Like I said, he's been so strong for this Infused side, finds 2 opening kills, and then Weber, once again, we've seen this a lot in this first half. Him left looking at 6s and 7s towards the A-bomb side. This time saving the AWP, but it's going to be Infused tying things up at 7-7 as we enter round number 15. They know Weber plays towards A. I'd be hunting him down right now. You know he's got the AWP. He showed that in the previous round, and he hasn't got to position like the tower, so he's certainly vulnerable here. You can hear Aaron coming on the other side from middle, but he's got bigger problems as Trials is coming right behind him, walking in. Ooh, not the knife. Okay, make sure he gets the kill there, and Weber, he's laughing about it. He's enjoying himself. So
oh, fun and games, Henry.
Very jovial scene here in the Elite Series arena, but It's round number 15 now. The B rushes, the A rushes seem to be working out. And it's that defense from the CT side. That shouldn't be so easy for them. There should be an abundance of utility dropped at the start. So they're running through smokes, flashbangs, HG grenades potentially as well to stop those rushes. But Method, they do have another AWP. It wasn't saving the previous round. It's Weber going with the glass cannon, and he has no armor. Rushing B this time, is certainly showing presence, trying to bait out the nades. They drop all the same smokes and flashbangs. CT's going to panic, right? They're going to drop everything they've got to do, try and negate that rush again. But that's just bleeding them out. They've got 1 smoke, 2 flashbangs left, no kits. Weber has to work incredibly hard here to make that AWP do something. He's alone on A this time. They've sent 4 players B this time. We know that's been a massive problem for them this side of the map. The basic drop-down control coming in.
Yeah, it's down to Niels and Weber here. If they do go for the A split, which it looks rather likely, it's those two to receive. Niels playing by the door. Might catch out Red Snake, and he does. That's great. Can he stay alive longer? Can he call for support? Get back up in... So he's about to do it all himself. Aaron finally quells the threat, and it's on to Weber again, but surrounded in a very uncomfortable way. And Trials, there was a swift headshot.
Yeah. That could be the round as well, as they will get a bomb plan out of this. And like we said, CT's no kits, no nades now. The man disadvantage as well. A is incredibly difficult bomb set to retake, even when you have nades as well. But Aaron needs to miss shots like that. Maybe there's a chance. Great shot from Pulse. 3 on 3 now, and Stanley will be dropped at the same time. Advantage towards Infused. It's Csgo desperately trying to make his way out. They can't really wait for the mistakes to be made here. No kits, like we said, after 10 seconds defuse. Not going to come down to that. Quite a clean sweep there towards the end from Infused. So I have to say, the tactical prowess from Infused, not that impressive, but why do you need it? If the CT defense on that B bomb side especially is so poor, you don't need all the tactics. Just keep throwing your players in there. Basic flashbangs, a couple of smokes going in. They're not defending you off, so why not? Keep doing it. I think they realized that when they slowed it right down, that's when they were giving rounds away. They were allowing players like Weber to get into the game. Just keep rushing B, boys. It just kept working over and over again.
I'm curious on the half what happens. Again, we do see a very polarizing teams when the CT and T sides. It does seem as though some teams really do flourish on the T sides. I'm hoping that's not the case. We still see this quite back and forth game, even though it did seem as though a lot of it was Infused running over the opponents. It's still a relatively close scoreline. So if a pistol round goes to Method, if we see, you know, there's a lot that can happen in this game, of course.
Anything can happen, Laura. We've seen some very interesting rounds so far.
Yeah.
The pistol did go in favor of Method, but then they lost to the Tech 9s in the second round, and then there was a lot of force-buy situations from Infused that probably shouldn't have worked out for them. A lot of weird clutches as well, poor decision-making towards the end, but still, that's going to be prevalent for both sides here. I don't think the CT defense is going to be much better from Infused here. So Method going to be very aware of that. It's still an okay half of them. It technically still is a T-sided map, so they're fine. With 7 rounds on the board, that's not too bad.
I think it's because we put a lot of kind of value to the name of the players on that team. We look at them and expect, not a lot, but we expect the basics to be covered. When you have names of that caliber, you have these experienced players, you kind of expect, all right, this is the good bare minimum. Not for your new player, not for that sort of level, but
yeah,
for players of their experience, for their years invested, you kind of want this level to be achieved. So that's why we look at them with a slightly, I guess, more judgmental eye to a degree.
Absolutely.
But 8-7, of course, in the half. Incredibly competitive scoreline here. Infused now on the CT side.
4 sets of armor for Method. 1 smoke, that's for Neil Zeno as well. An HE grenade. No upgraded pistols here. Going to be focusing towards middle. They'll smoke connector momentarily, and there's Wolf back it towards middle. Red Snake with the P2000. Can't land any damage just yet, but does get a good call for his teammates.
Ooh, if Aaron can isolate one, that would have been perfect, but no. He's not the one to strike, and look at Pulse already trying to get on through towards sight. The Glock comes out. The hits are not coming in for him. It's Fry again, but Csgo, the one to make it count. Now down to the 3v3. Bomb's not planted, bear in mind, so there's still plenty of opportunity here. Method, though, getting overwhelmed. You can see them falling like flies. It's down to just Csgo in a 1v3. No bomb planted, not much hope here. And Infused now. That's a lovely first round for them in the second half. Just elongates that scoreline favorably towards them now.
Yeah, doing a good job. It was looking so promising as well, but all fell apart at the final hurdle there. Fast towards A, but no bomb going down. It's going to extend the lead now for Infused, 9-7. Quite a simple approach, I have to say, Lauren. I think we've run that a few times in our games.
Do you reckon they've been watching your demos?
Yeah, I think they've been watching us and downloading our kind of our play style. Didn't work out. Pretty much what happens to us every single time.
Maybe we need to work on that.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do going forward. But still, Method now on the force. But like I said, no bomb going down in that first pistol. So they're going to be force buying with Tech 9 CZs. A couple of smokes there as well. Not much to work with, but it's enough. We did see what Infused can do with those Tech 9s in the first half. And looking at the Infused buy, not a single rifle. I hate this. It makes me feel nervous every single time. You don't have the range, but Cobble, we've got lots of tight choke points. You can play close range. I suppose it's fine. We'll see if they can pull it off.
Well, the theory's there. Let's see if the execution is. Well, That's not bad. Trial's going to find 2. Nice. This is the area you should expect it to work, though. Drop is the main choke point that you can really lock down. Those high fire rate guns that just do so much work in such close quarters.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of top tier teams that do this. Csgo,
oh yeah,
#1 team in the world, they actually buy this 5.
It's just terrifying.
Approach, it just scares me.
Yep.
As a vanilla CS player, for someone that you just need 2 rifles, just to have that range, anchors on either bomb site, then you have the SMG's close range. But drop down, like you said, if they go towards that area, this MP9's going to chew through the opponents. And that's a force buy as well from Method, so they get nothing into round number 3 here. Nice lead. There's Neil M, I guess the most talked about player in the UK, who's actually just a coach. He's a character, personality, if you will.
Henry, you had that title essentially for a while. The most talked about UK CS player who's essentially just a caster.
Exactly.
So
that's true, actually.
You're just a little jealous now.
I can barely talk at this point. I'm just here just to provide my voice. Now, no excitement when I walk in the building. It's all about Neil M.
It is. There's murals of him on the walls.
That's true.
It actually, that's the point. We need a Henry G mural.
We'll talk about that next week. It's going to be a long A rush from Method here. A little bit desperate. They know they can't win this round. Just hope for the best with the PT50s and the Glocks. I don't think they're going to bomb down here as the first 2 frags come in favor of Red Sec and Aaron. There's Aaron with his second as well. The Glocks do find 1 kill, to be fair. It's Weber taking down Red Snake, but that's all they get from him. So $300 gain from the round. Not really much to talk about. It'll be the first gun round going into round number 4 here. So CTs, they certainly have a little bonus round, we call it, Lauren, meaning they didn't bring many rifles in that previous round.
Is that what we call it?
I call it that. I know you've got a different name for it. What is it?
I remember someone telling me it was a Jaden round.
No.
No.
A Jaden round is when you say all 5 SMGs. You don't bring any rifles into the first.
Oh, it's very specific.
Yeah, so you can see they have got 3 rifles there.
They've got in for it.
Yeah, so it's a bonus round in the sense Aaron keeps his UMP, but Fry, he upgrades the AWP. And against Prophecy, on this map, we saw him do very well indeed. High octane Counter-Strike, very fast pace of the AWP, shutting them down left, right, and center. See if he can deliver a similar performance here in the first gun round. It's Method, though. No AWP on their side. You can see they are bled out a little bit here. 4 smokes, no Molotovs, which are really key on Cobblestone. With that drop-down room, pushing CTs back, upper platform as well, finding any high D CT players on the upper platform, but that's not an option for them, and it's Fry. Huge advantage here, in the sense he has no AWPs up against him, trying to find that first pick.
Genko really did set the bar for playing off of plat. He found those 3 big kills. There's Fry wanting his own.
He did just shoot and say, I'm over here, come get me, and then faces with his knife
3
out.
peaks.
It's a strange decision, but it does give away 2 frags. It's going to be infused now in a 5-on-3 situation.
And they have so little ground. The main point, I guess, is that they have Stanley here, but he can't really go that far from it. He can make it uncomfortable. He can make it awkward for them to rotate. Maybe find trials. That'd be brilliant. If he could maybe get that going when they needed to, but they still have those 2 players up on long. That's the next big problem.
Yeah, I'm still trying to work out what the play there from Genko is. He's always going to call up. Yep, there's a CT on the B site. There's no information granted there. He's literally just giving up his kill essentially there. But hey ho, it's 30 seconds remaining, and Method will be trying their luck towards the A bomb site, and that could work out for them. You can see the CTs are dug in towards long A, so technically the site is open. They can smoke that area off, but there's a little flank coming in here. And Stanley, he does find a frag towards drop down, so now there is a chance for Method.
Trials did already get his way round, and look at Aaron. Lovely timing on it, and there's the UMP at range. Something we are not seeing for a little bit of time, but works well.
Yeah, the UMP was nerfed, meaning it's a little less powerful now. It was a very prevalent weapon, but it was a bit too overpowered. So they removed the damage over a long distance for that weapon. But Aaron, he doesn't seem to mind. He still managed to find 2 big kills. They give it a lot of time. Obviously, a perfect flank from him in that respect. You can see they turn around, they try and take him down there, but the damage had already been done. And it's 12-7. Another eco for Method. Not looking too good for them now.
No, it's starting to look very nice for Infused. Seems like they've got their CT side sorted here. They had the start they wanted. Got those SMGs out, they delivered too. You're kind of going through the checklist of ideal things that happen to a start of a second half. So, going to be a bit of a rocky road back for Method more than anything, and they definitely need this.
They needed the 2-0 today to have any chance of making it to the playoffs. Method needed 2-0. Infused could probably get away with a draw. Yeah. They're currently in the 4th spot, but Method, it's been a disappointing run in the Elite Series so far. Not a single win. Lots of draws, 3 of those, which is 3 points, but they needed the 3 points today to really have a chance. Right now, it's not looking likely. Maybe getting a bit ahead of myself. They can still pull this back, but for now, it's pistols. CZ's Tech 9s, and a headshot as well. Aaron can find himself a spot above here.
Yeah, he's depending on Trials to help him out, and this is the problem that now begins. Niels and Weber get the breakthrough, the bombs on the side. They're going to get the plant. The retake becomes a little trickier. You can get good positions with these pistols. You can play those close angles. Niels does get himself a rifle as well. Paulson Weber are low, however. 1 shot is all he can deliver, but there's Mick coming through. Bit of a wide peak on it, but does just fine. It's basically Niels to make the play here. Now they know where the rifle is. They want to try and get him down as quickly as possible, but it's all on him here. 2 kills. Can he make it anymore. The swift answer, the quick answer, is no.
Yeah, that's a resounding no, I would say.
I didn't realise Boaster's up there.
Yeah, he's in.
The war cries are coming through.
Yeah, well, I'm known for his shouting as well. That could be a problematic round for them, considering that it was Nilzinho who hits that first shot as well, AK in hand. He hits one more kill. It's definitely a little bit dicey for them. But Mick, he steps up here, hits the shot that's required, and bails his teammate out there. So another big round for Infused. Looking very confident here on Cobblestone. And bear in mind, this is actually Method's pick as well, so that does not bode well going into map number 2. But like we said, we're not done just yet. They're on the T side, which is technically more favoured, but I'm not sure on UKTS in this particular matchup whether that still rings true. But B-Rush, it works so well for Infused. We'll give it a go as well.
Ooh, the flash though. Look at the counter flash. He's making it incredibly hard. As soon as Method step towards the site, they are blind, but they are delivering shots. Stanley and Weber come through, and that's the Weber you need to be seeing. Able to crack open 2 big kills, get you the site, bombs down, and there you have it.
Works again, Laura, in the B-Rush. I think these teams just keep doing it. Let's keep doing it.
Until one of them works out how to stop it.
Like, it seems like it's a little bit too easy. Sure, it's quite a nice B-Rush they're doing. They're dropping the smokes and the flashbangs required to actually find those first shot. And like we said, we're heavy-hitting players in the form of Weber and stuff, but they're not running through flames so much. It doesn't seem like there's anything to really shut them down in that sense. And we know Infused got tons of money here. Just didn't deploy the incendiaries. And Aaron and Red Snake saving their rifles at this point. So the B-bomb site proving to be a bit of a problem here. It's obviously been a bit of a cliche here of the Elite Series that these UK teams have poor CT sides, and I think all of them have admitted that's a massive problem they have, and they can't really seem to rectify it right now. And it seems like, I think a lot of teams are just realizing we don't have to play proper CS. We can just rush bomb sites and they won't be able to hold us off, because it becomes a bit of a free-for-all in that sense. Let our star players hit the shots of the AK-47s, make it a bit more puggy in that sense, and just punish the lack of setup we have on the CT side.
That's the Weber you want to be seeing, just swift approach to it, isn't it? Just decapitating people on the way through, but we need more of it.
We do.
As much as I do, you know, it's quite exciting to see those quick hits towards B, depend on your aim stars and this sort of thing. It's exciting to watch, but it's not the CS that you're used to. You want a little bit more. You want to see them fight through how they get those sites. We'll see what Infuse come up with now. Maybe they've got a good idea of this. You can see now Molly's going in, a couple of flashes, and not the quick hit that we saw before. So a lot of utility going to be used to try and hinder that quick hit if they did go for it.
Well, Method did bait out some grenades there from the CT side, but this time focusing towards middle.
Nice. The
bomb's there as well, so this will be a fast A here. They're going to be doing an A split. You see 2 players towards drop down as well. It's Csgo to Molotov out the murder hole. Aaron has to be the key player here for Infuse. Can he do anything with this? Hoping a player comes along A, but it's nothing at all. His teammate's dropping around him, but he finds a kill. It's an equal exchange for now, but Pulse, he's the difference maker. Still a 2-on-2 situation as Mick takes down Stanley.
Bomb needs to be recovered. They're uncomfortable here, and there's Mick again finding Weber. This is going pretty poorly. Pulse, though.
Yeah, this is a huge round as well. This is huge reset potential, Lauren, so they need to be very careful at Pulse. Certainly can win this round. He's got a minute on the clock. Molotov, flashbangs to work with. Still pretty healthy on 72 points of health as well. He's up against Fry. He's got the AWP, but you can see them. If we have a closer look at the CTs, they are sitting next to each other. They want to make this one solo interaction instead of separating. So holding the connector, that's a great place to do it, right? They can get information and then take him down together.
Pulse, though. Yeah. You know how important that round was. Yeah, I think you heard that. You already highlighted what that meant overall for the money situation going forward, what could have happened if it goes wrong or right. We saw the crosses being watched. But Pulse there's limited options. You have to take gambles.
If he had a smoke, he might have a chance there. He didn't. He had the Molotov and flashbangs. He can smoke the connector. He knows there's probably players in that area, but he has to take a deep breath, cross to the site. And they do have a bit of money here. The round they did win was pretty successful. So they have AK, sure, because you see Nilzinho, no utility whatsoever. Just the AK and armor. That's $3,700 he had in his back pocket going to number 23. Lose this round, Lauren, and it is game over. There'll be a match point Infused, and they'll have no money left at his Method. So they have to win this one. All in now as Neil heads towards long A. Csgo, he's holding the upper platform. Orb in the hands of Fry, who hasn't been as prevalent as I was expecting with AWP, but still pretty spot-on game from Infused so far.
Yeah, and I'm looking at seeing this kind of combination between Red Snake and Aaron. I guess the veteran 2 holding towards A. It's a lot of feel coming in towards the CT side. If they did have it was, I guess, a 4-1 really. They've kind of floated back over Red Snake. Maybe hearing something here, Aaron. Maybe getting an inkling this could be another A split. He gets the support now he needs. So Csgo and Weber desperate to break through here by drop. You can see the bait of the sound there from Weber. Nice approach, smart play. Going to kind of keep Trials on his toes. He falls back around towards window. Still, Method hold their nerve here.
Yeah, well, this is more classic Counter-Strike. You've got that long air control. You've pushed the CTs back. They now have no information on that particular area of the map. They can't really necessarily have one player there now. But Aaron, you have to be a key player here. He's right down the bottom of the middle, backed up by Red Snake as well. He's holding towards the APC, patrolling long A, not known as a jeweler as we described before. Trials goes down first. It will be another A split coming here. They make their way towards Connector, and Method looking very promising as we hit the 30-second mark.
Aaron could have had so much there. That's a shot and a half from Pulse, making up for that round that he just couldn't do anything with. And a little bit of a strike of revenge comes back in here, but
I'm just going to point out as well, Methods don't seem fired up at all when they win rounds, do they?
No.
They don't really seem
there's no... Yeah, we talk about the extremes, right? We talk about the Neil's kind of almost overzealous sort of approach where it can be a negative impact, but you want something.
You wanted just a fist bump, just to say, well done, bro. Like, thank you very much for that. Like, good, nice work. And it seems like they're just dead silent. I can think they're just talking about the basic strategy next round. I guess they're just concentrating on the game right now, but that's a big round for them to win. If they get this one, I want to see some sort of cry. I want to see some passion, you know, Lauren. That's what Counter-Strike's about. You do need a bit of that. And we get to round number 24. There's going to be a couple of pistols here for Infused, 5-7 for Red Snake. Trials on that CZ, but Fry, like we said, so good last week, the AWP, but hasn't really stepped up in this game as of yet. Hasn't had to, really. Haven't been on the ropes so far, but this is one of the rounds. If he can find kills here, all will be forgiven. Long A stack from Aaron and Red Snake. Red Snake trying to be baited in by Aaron. Aaron with the M4 and Red Snake indeed with that pistol, but that's a Molotov. Coming towards the position, they'll hear it as well. Flashbangs are good as he has to just spam wildly. He's definitely dead now. Aaron can't do anything about it either. Nice work from Pulse.
That was a nice little flash molly combo there.
Absolutely.
Timing on the peak.
See the panic, just, well, I'm dead now. I might as well spam my 5-7. Hope for the best. Didn't really work out for him though, did it?
No, I like that. That's what I want to see from Method, who are tipped to be one of the better teams throughout this entire season. Nice little individual play. Now Mick and Fright just left to kind of rot at this point. Obviously going to be hunted down at the end, maybe pressured. But this is the round you want to be hearing something from Method. Maybe a little, maybe a smile, God forbid.
Let's listen out for it. I guess unless you get all 5 kills in a
it's
really
not
exciting
quite pumped
fashion,
up,
they save a couple of weapons, just like, okay, we've hit double digits, but still a bit of a dire situation still. It's one round away from match point for Infused, but bear in mind, just anyone who's just tuning in, this is Method's map pick. It was looking like it was all going to fall apart, but they managed to win a big round here, and another one here. It was some great work from Pulse in the last few rounds as well. That long air execution, like you said, pretty baiting in terms of just him doing it. It's not like a full team effort, but Molotov in, perfect flashbang as well, makes him panic and gets those 2 frags, and that's pretty much round over at that point. That's to Mick now to save his AK, or his M4 I should say, but he gets taken down, and now Fry, I don't think he'll be saving his AWP, but let's see.
Oh, that's a tough shot to miss.
Yeah, he's done for. Oh, maybe not. Oh, we'll never know. I can hear him scoping.
I'm listening out to it. I think he kept it.
I'm not sure. I was trying to read Neil's reaction. They did say the orb. Okay,
there it is.
Well, here we go. He's purchased as well. So Fry buys himself some utility. He gets a smoke, Molotov, a couple of flashbangs. I don't think his teammates will be joining him, but Method are right back into this game now. They know it as well. Looking very calm and calculated. Maybe that's their approach. They don't want to get fired up. They just want to make sure they keep their heads in the game. And now a chance to time out. We can see they're discussing the idea of a boost. Neil agrees. And we'll see, and they'll have no money, so...
Their money's not great.
No, that's what he meant, yes, exactly. But it is a tactical timeout. We haven't seen really any tactical timeouts. This is the main thing. If you watch pro-level CS, right, they're taking tactical timeouts. They have 4 available usually. They will take pretty much all of them in a big game. I don't think I've seen one since I've been casting here at the Elite Series, which is a bit of an issue, but still, we are seeing one from Infused now. Just a chance to take a deep breath. Neil can, I guess in this sense, the coaches in the Elite Series can talk throughout the round and stuff, so I think that's why it's not such a huge issue, but still, Neil now a chance to chime in and work out what the next buy is.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, if they can let us know, because I am curious about this, is I think you're only allowed to talk in the warm-up times in between.
Oh, okay,
not
so
allowed, like...
Okay.
So I'd be interested if maybe he's got something to say about this. Maybe that's a factor coming into it. But again, this is us theory crafting from what we can overhear. It's,
sure.
You know, it's a little hard to work out, but there is Fry. He's basically a difference maker. He's the one who can... Oh, my word.
Here we go.
Now, this is looking for differences. He had a chance then. Will he have another go at this one? Weber on the other side needs to land it, and he does. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, damage inflicted as well towards Pulse, but it's only these default pistols for the remainder of the Infused side, and I think they'll be punished for that. Sure, they get the opening pick, but Fry is burning alive now, down to 50 points of health. Bomb will be planted. They obviously don't have a kit either. I think this is Operation Save the AWP at this stage as well. Looked a bit exciting with a nice boost. There's not really many options with the CT side to find individual picks at the start of the round. Boost towards drop down or face towards middle. That's pretty much it. And it works out for them, but as soon as they work out the orbiting drop down, they fully commit towards the platform, smoke him out, and he's out of the round at that point. You can see he's down to 27 points of health now, just trying to retreat. His teammate Trials will be certainly giving him the human shield and trying to wrap himself around him, and hopefully he can survive with that orb.
Oh, that's a visual, Henry.
It is, isn't it? I wasn't sure where I was going with that one.
I liked it, though.
We got there.
Yeah. Very descriptive cast, of course. 50 Shades of CS with Henry G. Method, though, going to keep the 4 alive. Bomb goes off, and we are... Easy Trials. He actually got the kill. Does he get the gun?
Bad.
And he does as well. Lovely.
Yeah.
Really nice.
That's actually pretty much as good as it could have gone. They had 1 AWP, and they get a kill, get a couple of frags, and they save the AK and the AWP as well. So they have money to buy around this one, and they should be in pretty good stead. They're looking for one more round. That will relieve a lot of pressure here. Infused, certainly a team that can get frustrated and play. The coach behind him, Neil, as well, he can sometimes lose his head as well, lose his nerve, and maybe get a little bit out of that sort of enthusiasm and passion. And they know the games can slip away from them. They're certainly a team that's zoned to crumble, but let's see if they can step up here. It's Fry this time towards long A. With the first frag and gives the position away.
No one's actively watching his danger either. He has no idea if someone's walking up those stairs. He does have support there, but that's horrible. He was out on his own, the timing's off. Genko just punishes him so handily. It's just really disjointed hold towards A then.
Yeah, and now Method with full long A control. Method try to make their way out towards drop down and certainly got somewhere, but Aaron brings it down to a 4-on-4. But you can see the CTs now just with flashbangs here. They have to actively work to these frags. Can't allow the execution to come in, but back towards B we go. And there's 3 players on the Infused side towards the A site. It's just poor old Mick who's holding B. He could find himself in a lot of trouble here. So Genko's been given the task to maybe show his hand towards A, try and find that first pick, or he goes for the backstab. There are 2 options there. Throws a smoke, it seems like it's the former. He's trying to just hold the rotations off here, maybe get a frag. Doesn't have to fully commit, just trying to stop them rotating towards B.
Lovely. I do like Mick's position though. If he just plays it calm, he doesn't actually take the fights, he waits for them to play out towards the site, lets Aaron take the attention. It can be lovely. Let's see if he holds his nerve. He doesn't. He takes the first fight he can, and that was deadly. But Aaron's there. You can see what that means to him. That's
a little bit dicey.
To say the least.
Great positioning, good timing. Didn't really stick the landing in terms of the shot, but he just about got it in the end. If he misses that and they lose that round, I think that's when Infused check out of the game and they realize they are going to crumble. But they managed to get round number 15 on the board. That is indeed map point on Method's map pick. So this is looking quite good, but still Method not out of it just yet. You can see their money's decent. Win one more round, that's a full reset for Infused this time, and they've got a decent buy here. All power for Neil, 4 AKs as well. A little bit faster pace towards middle here, but smoked out. And it's Pulse, who's been doing so well towards long A, trying to take down Fry. Is he alone this time? He has got some backup this time in the form of Aaron, so hopefully he won't get shut down from danger.
Just felt like Fry was worried about it more than anything. It's not even the active threat, but now he knows he's got support. He can just do what he wants, and the miss on the follow-up is not good enough, and there we go. Pulse, you highlighted him.
Yeah.
He is really finding form playing through A long, and the support arrives in the form of Trials. He finds one before he goes down, but this is kind of all-in play from Method. They're just throwing it at Infused, and well, Red Snake's not having much of that.
That was a brave push from Red Snake through that murder hole as well. They heard him shoot the vent out, but somehow comes out on top of it. Now it's a 2-on-2. Pulse and Weber. Good control towards the A side, with smokes available as well. They can smoke out balcony if they want to. Going to be smoking connector first. Molotov as well. This is very promising to get the bomb on the site. Pulse trying to funnel them towards the balcony after he smokes out connector. Weber a little bit tentative to join his teammate just yet, waiting for a mistake to be made. They need to be careful here, though. Flank's definitely a possibility, but not right now, as both players are towards the connector for the CT side. Pulse is clearing out the bombs now. Calling for his teammate, it is clear. Another smoke towards connector. Bomb will go down, but can the CTs do anything about this?
You can see Weber so cautious, so hesitant. Drops off the bomb to Pulse there. High flash comes in. No one pushes. 28 seconds, bomb to be planted. How do the CT side play this out? They're actually already working their way through. They're already out towards the site. Weber might be a little surprised by this, but no, nice positioning from Weber. And now it's just Red Snake trying to play back in. Close it out now. Don't let it spiral away. He knows where one is, but he can't find him in time. Weber is there, and there's still hope alive for Method.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big round, a huge 2-on-2 situation as well. But very well played there from Method, I have to say. Great teamwork. You can see what their approach was there. They had that bit of utility to work with. 2 smokes, Molotovs as well. Smoke the connector, get towards the site, clear the site out, making sure you don't give anything away, eradicating those risks. We discussed that idea before. Just a highlight as well. Pulse is doing great work towards that long A position. And Weber, that's a nice play. He sees the smoke come out towards the connector. He knows the CT is their only chance really to sneak out there silently and try and get to the site together. Shuts it down, punishes them with their own smoke, and we're going to round number 28 now. This is looking like an overtime game, I have to say, but full-on B rush should be quite safe for the Method boys.
Yeah, this is not going to be an early night, it feels. Mick fancies a go at it. Jenko already going to be putting up numbers for Method. This should be clean for Method. They shouldn't lose out on players. They're facing together as a team, and they lose out on one. That's fine.
That's absolutely fine. Money won't be quite stable now for the Infused side. They might want to take a double eco here. Sure, they've got match point. They want to end it as quickly as possible. But if you keep force buying up and you bring like shotguns, SMGs out, that's when you find yourself in a world of trouble. No, absolutely. They're going to be ecoing this one. It's certainly a double eco situation. And that's why I said it's got overtime written all over it. They have to take the eco here. 5.7s, PT50s, a CZ as well. They've got some body armor. It's what we call a partial buy, so not all in. But the loss bonus starting to accumulate now. They'll be able to buy it the next round. But there is a little sliver of hope they can pull this one out. As we go to a full B stack, they've got some HE grenades as well. It's the snake we saw towards A, but this time on the B side. They're all looking towards that upper platform, but I don't think Method will be giving anything away here. Just holding up for any sort of aggression. They're not 100% sure it's an eco at this point. They know it's probably quite likely, but they're just going to be feeling out the map, trying to get some information as to what kind of buy they have. Whether they're stacking, drop all the utility you have. Money is not an issue at this point. Drop everything. Drop the Molotovs, flush out every choke point. Don't face check unless you've got a teammate with you. Use the buddy system, Lauren. You have to do it here. It's a big round. You're one away from losing. Use every strategy and every fundamental CS you possibly can.
The infamous buddy strategy, but look at this. It's Method throwing them through a loop. Infuse, stack B, hear nothing.
And then they
head
swap
over towards A, and off we go.
That's great. That's actually quite funny to watch. So they were fully stacked in the B bomb site. Then they got a bit of an inkling. It's like, you know what? Let's go towards A. Everyone there this time. And now Method, they go towards B. Pretty beautiful stuff for Method to be able to open
Very nice.
a B bomb site here. Completely unwelcome by the CTs. You can see Fry was thinking about staying, but he's gone towards the connector as well. They'll get the bomb down. It's a guaranteed round. And Pulse once again, long A by himself, gets 2 headshots as he takes down Trials. Will be Aaron to punish him, but it doesn't really matter. Like we said, money not a huge factor in this particular scenario. Just want to get rounds on the board, and now they'll be 1 away from taking us to overtime.
Yeah, and you can hear the difference in the room. Neil's very quiet.
Somber tone. It seems like Infused Hype Train has come to a bit of a halt.
Yeah, it's going to be down to the wire, of course. It'll be 14 to 15. So 1 round in it. Do Infuse win it in regular time, or do we go OT and we see if Method...
We're definitely going overtime.
You believing?
Yeah.
No two ways about it.
It feels like Infuse have fallen apart now. They don't really know. They keep just splitting Fryer, that AWP towards long, hoping he has one of those Wanderers rounds, like he gets like 2 or 3 kills, but Pulse is just completely tearing them apart in that area. They don't really seem to know how to shut that down. And Pulse, he seems to be having a very good game so far. Good fundamentals from Method, I have to say. And Infuse, yeah, they're having a really rough time here. They'll save an AK-47 after this eco, but it was quite an easy round generally. A little bit funny that they stacked towards B, then got baited all the way back towards A. So I think this will be another time. I didn't quite catch the money from what I can remember. It looked like about 4,500. I caught it for about 1 second. But we'll see if they can buy into this round. So it's an okay buy. Did you catch any of the information there, the strats coming?
I heard just flash.
I heard the word flash. I was hoping you got more.
That's about all I got there, Henry.
All right.
Well, we'll find out if the flashes do connect, if they do land, if they find their target. And oh, look at these mollies going in. Oh, the burning Method. Stanley's looking a little low. Oh, what are they doing? Fry! He gets 2 for free, a third! Have Method really done this? Have they just thrown this away? Niels and Stanley are going to be sweating bullets here going, was this a mistake? Did we rush it? Did we make mistakes when we had it all to play for? You're banking on Niels delivering now. You need a shot to land or 2. Stanley to find a play, but the bomb.
Come on, boys. Oh, that's a mess. Now they're going to be arguing with each other, making noise. And why did that boost not come in? That would have been a lovely boost. That would have been a perfect flank. Oh, they're trying it again. Still can't do it. Come on, lads.
You know how this works.
What a nightmare. Come on. This is a big round. We can't do a basic boost. All right, let's calm down. 1 minute remaining. The boost didn't work out. Maybe he didn't want to do it. Cancel the boost. Bomb still down. Stanley has to hit this shot, which he does. And this falls apart. It's going to overtime. 2-on-2 situation. Stanley down to 32 points of health. A boost towards the tree here. Can they boost? Surely they can. There we go. Up here.
Lovely.
Up and about.
The shot's not there for him, Henry.
No.
Niels does land his, and now we're down to the 1v1. Red Snake up against Niels, 2 veteran players, but as he predicted, Niels.
It's tense, Lauren.
He's going ring. He's got to make noise jumping out of this. I'm pretty sure you can't silent jump anymore. See if you can make it quiet.
No, he's all right. Oh, you're right.
20 seconds.
Now he's off.
Red Snake's heard this, and he's on the run. He's got the Molotov to put down. That'll buy him time for a plant, at least theoretically. Bomb to be planted. Niels will get a second to position, but look at this. Red Snake's very close by. He wants a quick fight on this. He doesn't want Niels to get settled in. You can see Niels is getting a little anxious here. This is going to be right down to the wire. Infused could win it right here, right now. Or Method are going to drag it into overtime. And Niels, he's got the line of... Oh, he missed! He didn't even get the shot off!
Oh, well, there it is. That summarizes this game. We did see Infused crumbling there, Lauren. But they do manage to get over the finish line. Kicking and screaming just about comes in. Neil Zeno there with the one-on-one situation against his rival in-game leader there. It's Red Snake coming out on top. It wasn't the prettiest last round, Lauren. That boost, that was a nightmare. Never seen anything like that in my life. They were obviously arguing that point. I think if they lost that round, they're pretty much done for the evening. But they just about put it off. It's 16-14 to Infused.
I think that will sum it up from us here. Let's head back to the boys on the desk to hear what they had to say about that matchup, but what a great way to start this one off.
Thank you very much, Pansy. Thank you very much indeed, Henry G. Wow, it was quite a scintillating end of the map 1 there on Cobblestone. But listen, in just a few moments, we will have all of the analysis from my glorious panel. Sponge.
Which mic? Yeah, cool.
Oh, whoa. I've not screamed this whole entire series, and I just became Neil M sat down. What was going on there, guys?
It wasn't the prettiest game.
It wasn't at all.
No.
And, and I can't lie, when you said, all right, we're definitely going into overtime, a lot of us were going, no, not today. Now, you might not have known, because you guys are down here, we're up there, and I can see everything that's going on upstairs. It went a bit quiet at the beginning.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened?
No.
You didn't know what happened. Neil M had a little bit of an upsy-daisy.
Oh no, what happened?
He's a bit sick.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it got to him a little bit too much. So
no way.
He wasn't allowed back on stage until half-time. So at that point, it was 8-7. And after that half-time point, obviously, Infused kind of picked up a little bit.
What is going on?
He always delivers, doesn't he? Every
There's always something.
Manages to bring the hype and the excitement, and then definitely keeps us on our toes.
It's like a soap opera with Neil, isn't it?
I think it's just a bit too much for him to handle.
Yeah, he's very invested into the game.
Just a bit.
Now, how do you think Infused are performing?
Oh, that was such a roller coaster for me. I can't say it was the prettiest game of CS I've ever seen in my life. It seems like they were crumbling towards the end there, but they won the map. They need the 2-0 here today to really guarantee that 4th spot, make it to the playoffs. That's all they care about. That's happened now. Forget about the mistakes and the blunders towards the end there. They get the first map, and that's Method's map pick as well. So that's great news. Move on to Mirage. Forget about all that high octane adrenaline stuff in the previous few rounds. Let's just move on. And I think there should be a good stead now to get the 2-0.
What are you thinking, Pansy? They performed quite. That CT side for them is all right.
I think Henry's a little close to the mark on that one for me. It looked like a very competitive game, but it was a lot of mistakes, and they were unforced errors. It was them kind of doing it to themselves almost, and I hope they can mentally reset, take a little second, step away, calm down, kind of forget how the game actually went, and just kind of focus on the fact we got the map on the board. That's all that matters. Map 2's coming up. Let's hone in on that one.
So let's talk about Method now. Okay. Method really need to kind of like fix up.
Yeah,
look sharp, look alive.
The good news is we did see some of the star players start to arrive towards the latter stages there of that first map. Weber especially looking very good. Pulse, lights out towards that long A position as well on the terrorist side. AK-47 looking deadly here. So hopefully he can bring that into the next map as well. But the problem is we needed the 2-0 here for Method now. Maybe they'll be a little bit less invested into this series considering they probably can't make the playoffs here. Needed that 3 points. Now they can only get 1. So it's unlikely. I don't see that hunger coming back quite so much in the second map.
No, I tend to agree. And I almost feel for Niels there because he had actually quite a good game. We've been pretty critical of the guy. Unfortunate ends on the note that it did. That's the thing. That's the sour note there. But if you look prior to that, he was actually having some real impact. And he's not meant to be one of the players doing that almost. There should have been others being at the forefront. Pulse as well. Yeah, there was individuals there, but I wanted the collective.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, I know you're kind of ready to get involved in the next part of the game. Let's go to it.
So here we have it then. It is week 6 in the Elite Series. Team Infused versus Method on map Cobblestone. That's what it means to that man, the motivator, the guru, the sensei of Team Infused. There was a few descriptions for what Neil M means to that team. Listen, with Infused getting that win on that map. It means officially, as you can see the standings on that screen, Prophecy guaranteed top 3 finish. So they're going to the playoffs. It's still up for grabs on that 4th spot. You can see Team Infused have got that extra point now. It's very exciting. We go into map 2, but let's talk about what we just saw on Cobblestone. A lot of good play, some interesting play.
That last round was a comedy of errors, I'd say. It was who could make the most mistakes, I guess, in that round. It was really interesting to see. The pressure, I suppose, got to them. This was really good. You know, these first 3 frags, this should have sealed the deal. From here, this is where the blunders started to happen. The boost going on in drop, you know, they messed it up multiple times. They should have been playing with their teammate. They could have set up a really good crossfire. This boost comes in, and Stan whiffs as well. He had the height advantage. They didn't know he was there. He wasn't able to convert anything. And then Neil, he grabs the bomb, he sneaks past, and he's going to go towards the A bomb site. Now, he could have dropped out this window without making any noise, right? But instead he's dropped off the wrong side. He's made noise. He's given away his position. Let Red Snake know where the rotation is, and from there it's a 1v1. It's anyone's. It's basically a coin toss at that point. So with all those issues, all those errors, it was basically that I think nerves getting to both teams.
So I mean, this bit at this point, SEO, a highlight for you out of all those rounds?
I suppose it would have to be. Like, there's a number of rounds that were kind of messy, kind of scrappy. And this one was just incredibly tense.
Yeah, what's going through Nilzino's head at this point? Red Snake's there, he's just waiting for him to pop out, to peek. Yeah,
it's a mixture. You have to be wondering both sides. I think, is he walking up on me? Is he going to peek around suddenly on both sides? So he committed to the left-hand peek, and obviously the rifle beats the AWP in that situation.
So I have to say, Infused guaranteed a point so far. They might get 2 more extra points if they win the next map. So they are currently on the standings with 8 points, all to play for to get that 4th spot. Let's talk about the fact that MCK and Trials, 23 frags apiece. They were pretty lethal today.
Yeah, especially I was surprised by Mick, because I believe he burst his eardrum on Friday when he flew in.
Okay.
So, you know, it's quite a big thing, like, you know, potentially having no sound, like, or weakened sound, effectively, in one ear. So to have that when, you know, you're playing on a stage with the earphones in.
Yeah, because we saw in a couple of situations where you're really listening for the sounds to understand where the players are on the map, and you can act accordingly when you kind of get a sense of where they might be.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Those little details, they play a huge factor in these kind of matches. But just to build on the point of these guys being solid fraggers, or at least towards the top of the scoreboard, it was actually a team effort from both squads. And I know that sounds a ridiculous statement, but we didn't see anybody carrying across the board. There were good individual plays from everybody in rounds where they needed to stand up, and that's unusual. Normally what you see is, you know, 1 or 2 players who are really leading the way, but in this one it was those 2 towards the end who picked it up. But it felt to me like Infused was in the driver's seat for the majority of the game. After Method won the first pistol round, the Infused were able to eco them back, and it seemed from there that they were able to run away with a lot of rounds. I think they ecoed them twice in that first half. Yeah. So if you're going to win 2 ecos, which are rounds that you, I don't know, should have like a 25% chance of winning, shouldn't really happen, you're in really good stead. And on the flip side of that, Method could have had a much better first half and could have gone their way.
There was a bit in the map, just that last round we just saw. What was going on with the boost? Explain what's happening, why it didn't happen, should that happen? You're right to pinch at the top of your nose. It feels like you've got a nosebleed coming, Sponge. But explain the boost, what that is, and how it didn't happen there.
It's not a difficult boost by any means. It's just one as when you make the jump, the micro or the macro that you use with your keyboard, you need to make sure you're not basically crouching as you want to go up on the ledge, or it's something along those lines, right? It's up here. It's more of imprinted on my brain as how to do it.
It should be subconscious. You should just be doing this many rounds.
Exactly. And to mess that up in that crucial situation, they could have had a really good flank on and played that round really well, but instead what happened, they wasted time and they didn't actually help their teammate. So the boost, not being able to get that must have just been nerves, right? Because that shouldn't be happening.
So a bit of jitters, we call it in the business, a bit of jitters. Hopefully, when we go to map 2, which is going to be Mirage, those jitters will be left behind. How do you see this map going now that you've seen their sort of play style on the first map, Cobblestone?
I feel like with the momentum that Infused are currently rolling with, it'll kind of let them take this map with relative ease, honestly. It's like, you know, that momentum right at the end, Neil screaming his lungs out.
Yeah.
I feel like that'll pump you up as a player, obviously. Like, having somebody there pumping you up, you're like, wait, we can do this.
But there is a little bit of attention. I've just been informed that apparently Neil M has tickets for McGregor versus Mayweather, which will clash with the semi-final. Does he want to go to the semi-final, or does he want to see McGregor apparently learn how to punch against Mayweather? tough decision, isn't it?
Yeah,
We've all seen the video of him with the punch bag.
I'll stay away from this one.
Yeah.
All yours, mate.
Prediction? Well, let's take a prediction on that. Just thought I'd give you a little bit of a fact, but you didn't want it. That's fine, absolutely.
Just like the Olympics one, mate.
You don't want it. You wouldn't want a ticket. It's all about CSGO. Prediction for this map then. Method or Infused from Mirage SEO, please?
I'm going to have to go with Infused. The momentum they have got right now, you can't really stop it.
Okay, and yourself?
I kind of disagree with that. I think, you know, Method actually had most of the momentum towards the end of that second half. They were playing a better brand of Counter-Strike. I think the only thing going into this matchup is they're probably mentally depleted because of that loss, and it isn't a best of 3, so they can't win the whole series now. They can only tie it up. Let's just go with Method. Let's just keep it a little bit different.
Okay, I like it. A little bit different. And personally, if you're asking me, which you weren't, I'd sell the ticket. That's what I'd do. Big question. Henry G, Pansy, lovely to see you again. You excited about map 2?
Oh, very excited, I would say. Yeah, like I said in that kind of interview afterwards, I feel like now Method can't get the 3 points. They might not be as invested as they once were. And after losing that sort of fashion as well, 16-14, very disheartening for them. I think Infused will be fired up. They know their position at 4th place. It's not set in stone right now, but it's looking very promising for them. They'll have to hunger here. This is their map pick. Probably going to take the 2-0.
Yeah, for me, there's very few boosts on this map, so I feel it's going to go a little better for both sides.
You hate to see that. Like, Chad, I was waiting to hear
Can we appreciate how appalling that was? Yeah. But yeah, that is aside now. That's map 1 done. Thank you guys on the desk, of course, for having us a nice little kind of walk back through some of those more special moments.
Absolutely.
But Mirage awaits. A new battleground, a fresh start for both sides. Hopefully both of them can shake off a little of that first map and come back swinging in the second.
We'll see. You know, like we said, this is Infused map pick. Method dropping at the final hurdle. I like the romance of the final round. Both in-game leaders, a 1v1 clutch, all the blunders coming through, the tension. It could have been overtime, but thwarted by Red Snake. It was quite a beautiful moment, I have to say. I enjoyed it.
Well, let's be honest, you've known these players for some time. You used to be part of this scene. You were one of these players, not, well, I guess quite some time ago now, but you've felt these pressure situations. You were an in-game leader. You've been in their shoes as they are now. So, you know, if anything, you certainly understand how it feels when it all comes down to just
That's why I stopped playing, because that gut-wrenching feeling you have when you lose maps like that, you just feel sick. And I'm like, it's like what Neil M was probably sick after that. It's definitely nerve-wracking up there on the stage, and it can be a little bit too much for some people. And that's why I just stick talking about it. It's much easier.
Those who can do, those who can't cast.
Exactly.
That's why. Yeah. We're all washed up in some way, shape, or form. Anyway, into this one though. Let's have a little chat about. You know, you can do the win conditions, but let's talk about Method, because you know some of these players. You can maybe get into a little bit of their mentality. They suffered a bit of a loss there on the first stage, at the very least, having that comeback for a while. I feel like this is like a game of spite, really. Like they're just trying to just deny Infused getting to the playoffs here, right? That's what they want to do. They might just feel like there's some redemption in that sense, just to kind of make things more tricky for them going forward. That could be something there. They've got nothing really to lose. I don't think they can make the playoffs now. Statistically, I think they needed the 3 points right now. So nothing to lose. And players like Weber, when he's not really caring, just running around, popping heads, that's quite a dangerous factor, right? So here we go. We are going to get into the game, Lauren. It's Infused on the T side, and Method chasing Infused will be on the CT side. Here we'll have a look at the buy for the Ts. They get a couple of smokes and flashbangs as well. Smoke towards window. I think this could just be a rerush. It could be a bit of a ruse just to kind of take vision away from the CTs. Well, Method have put themselves in the right place. They need to still land the shots. They still need to go through the motions of what it takes to get these kills, but they have 3 players pretty much towards a B site. Stanley's a little looser towards short, but still, that's a nice shot from Weber, and if he gets going, this is where things get fun. Pulse is there, Stanley connects, and there it is. Method with a big shutdown on this B site. Red Snake and Mick, you got to fight against the odds here, and they're doing it. Red Snake comes in swinging. That's 2 back for him. Bomb's not to hand, though. That's an issue, and you can see the surround now from Method.
Very promising situation for the CT side. It's Red Snake down on 1 HP. He has found 2 frags, but I feel like he needs Mick to step up here. He's upgraded to the silent USP, gives him a bit more range to work with here. They have a minute to work with here, but the CT's being very disciplined. Don't want to give too much away, but as I say, that Stanley gets dropped. Now we have a chance, 2-on-2 situation, another headshot for Mick. Now it's a 2 versus 1. Why are the CTs giving them so many opportunities here? The bomb is not down. It doesn't make sense. Now it's down to Neilzino once again. Red Snake knows. Taking that wide face once again. He wants to get the bomb here, but they need to go together. They need to be very careful. Headshot comes in. I don't know how Red Snake wins that duel. I couldn't tell you why. He didn't land that 1 bullet, Neilzini, that is, but what an absolute blunder of a round from Method. They had the advantage. They had Red Snake down on 1 HP, and you give Mick an inch. He's going to take a mile, and he just hits the 1-taps all over the place, and there's no real reason to push that, Lauren. No. You've got vision of the bomb. They have the plant. You've got the man advantage as well. Why are you giving him individual duels there?
I almost forgive him finding the player on short. That was his kind of like, I guess if it's a puzzle, that's your first piece, right?
Yeah.
But then he should never be able to get there cleanly, nor be able to then find the two players in kitchen. That was where it should have stopped. But I think this is where you see those kind of internal issues being very visible in game, where the communication's not great. They're not just in, mindset's not in the right place. Because you shouldn't lose that. You shouldn't lose those situations the way it played out. That aside, though, first round, of course, now does sit very favourably with Infused. They do have the rifle up as well, mixed right on that one. Can't really blame him. The others, SMGC UMPs do operate very well still, even after the nerf. There is still so much viability there. A little bit of a smoke in towards short. And we'll see how this one pans out off the back. But the bomb's still at the top of mid, so again, no real intentions of ending anywhere just yet. Hopefully.
Well, yeah, we'll see. It's looking quite promising right now from Infused, I have to say. Nice discipline round, getting some basic mid control as well. Still a few smokes to work with. They've got that one rifle in their hands of Mick. Obviously getting a few kills in the pistol there. Boosts his bank balance, but it's all falling apart here. 3 kills in total for Method, 2 from Stanley, and it's just a basic face check. We talked about the idea, Lauren, of using your utility to eradicate these risks. Nothing at all there, lining up for him, and now the round's starting to fall apart. It's a 4-on-2 situation. Red Snake and Trials. Red Snake not known to be the biggest fragger within the team. He's starting some headshots here, but can't find them just yet. 2
players on site. Trials there. Young man, of course, going to have to step up and clear the site out of threats. And, well, there's one. Weber, though, going to make it uncomfortable, awkward, and that buys time. That allows the rest of Method to get into better positions. Pulse now around the back. That's good from Red Snake, but they're so low. That's when the Deagles become even deadlier. Ooh. And there you're seeing it. Weber even finding the headshot. Didn't need to find that much, and there he is again. That's Weber starting to feel out the game, maybe. That's exciting to me as a prospect because, as you said, if he starts to just kind of play his own game, which isn't good in the overall picture of things, something you don't always want that in our player, but if he's in that mindset where he's like, I just want to play my game, I just want to get kills, get in their faces, be unleashed. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. The perfect metaphor is take him off the leash, just let him run around and do whatever he wants, because he is a star player, probably the most skilled we have in the UK, like in terms of the highest skill scene, I think.
Look, I'm saying Smooth is getting there.
Oh, yeah, no,
but he's another one.
Fair enough.
He's another one that you want to unleash sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. When he has to leash, you can tell when he's dropping 30 bombs here today. He looks very good indeed. But yeah, Weber definitely has the potential to hit those dizzy heights 100%. As well. But Infused, I have to say, what a blunder. Not the ladder room. Just flash it. At least just throw a flash in there. Something. Don't just walk in lining up one by one. Don't do that.
But it's things like this that don't seem like much at the time, but then you look back, you watch the demo back, you think, why on earth did we do that?
We could have avoided that heartbreak.
This could be a clean 3-round, nice start, money's looking good, we're in the heads of Method. Now it's like, okay, well, Weber's having a nice little game, he's got the Deagle out, he's starting to feel better about himself. Neil's there, going to put up some numbers. Fry, the first man to be found. That's now bomb down in a bit of an awkward position, but the rifles are here, they shouldn't falter. Mick's going to find Csgo, but that's not the end of the world. That's a little uncomfortable. Red Snake shouldn't be able to get that much done, but still, they should be able to find these rifles.
No emotion, of course.
I've never seen Weber smile.
Nothing at all. Just silence. But there's some silence as well. Neil, obviously, not up and about just yet. After winning the pistol in quite an interesting fashion as well, getting shut down, certainly going to affect the morale of the team. And for now, another Eco at least. That was the force buy in the previous round. But 2-1 is the overall scoreline. Method with the lead for now on the CT side. It is more favoured on Mirage. Most teams will opt to go CT first. And Csgo surely gets some frags here. Another players in front of him. Playing conservatively though, baiting his teammate Pulses and Connector. He finds the first frag, using some good flashbangs now. Good HGs as well. That should do some considerable damage. It's been Pulse challenging here, looking for some frags. The aim's not quite there, unfortunately though. Overwhelmed, and he does go down. It's a 4-on-1. Mick, only with the Glock. Lauren's enjoying herself. You want to fan of that one?
It's those horrible panic moments. Like I was expecting one, I had a molly nicely ready for top of mid.
Yeah.
You get to use it, and it just
all fell apart. I think it's one of those points when you miss the first few bullets, you just say, right, I'm dead.
Yeah.
You just kind of check out.
Knockback comes in, you're just like, well.
I'll just let myself go down now.
It just makes me giggle.
Yeah.
All right? I find real joy in mostly other people's misery. It's mostly Alex, to be fair. It's lucky he's not here this week, so that's a bit of a shame.
I'm sure he'll make an appearance at some point. Who knows?
We can only hope so. He's doing some small gig elsewhere, though.
Yeah, like
it's a wizard game
thing. He wishes he was there.
Absolutely. Have you seen the caliber we're watching here?
Well, for now, Mick trying to step up. He's got the P250. Up and about towards middle. It's a 3-on-1 situation. He's got no armor, no nades. He's got the bomb though. 35 seconds remaining. This one he's just trying to frustrate his opponents, I think. Just make them walk into his crosshair. Hopefully try and take a duel. He can't really get that bomb down, but he does find a rifle. That boosts his chance by about 5%, I'd say, at this point. If he can get some sort of a kill going, maybe he's got something to work with, but it looks like he might just save. Time is ticking away, 20 seconds. Doesn't really have the option to really get to a bomb site now. Smoke available. Just trying to hold on to the M4, it seems. That means he gets no money to the next round, but maybe that's not such a huge deal considering he saves the M4. 8 seconds now. Definitely saving this point.
Yep. Not bad. All in all, there's a couple of problems across the board here and there, losing out the 2 players in Connector. Probably not the way you want things to go. A little bit of a, the pinch in mid worked to a degree. It got a couple of guns away, but still. Round on the board. And it's very, very quiet still in that Infused camp. You know, even in the down rounds, you do normally hear, that little stir of a conversation. Where am I going?
Where am I going? That's an age-old question. Maybe he's been quite philosophical there.
That could be it.
Yeah.
That could be it.
Round number 5, like we said, that's saved M4. We're doing something here. We do have a buy from Infused, but aggressive play from the CTs is Weber with the AK-47. Takes down Red Snake. It's a 4-on-4 though. Aaron striking back as he finds Stanley as well, but headshot in the process down towards 29 HP. They still have the advantage though. Yeah, sure, Aaron's low, but 4-on-4 technically favors the T side here. 3-1 for Method, but now they are spread a little bit thinner in the defense. Csgo on the AWP, and it's Fry working the A ramp right now. Bomb's still down towards middle, so they won't be committing just yet.
It's a little uncomfortable, is it? I don't know if it's fully round the corner or not. I'm hoping that it's not fallen that far forward so they can actually spot for it, but just need to be a little careful upon retrieval. It is a little further around, so they've had to commit 1 smoke to it. It's not the end of the world. No one's actually actively watching it anyway. They've fallen off this, which is fine. Neil's already pushed up a little bit towards the apartments. I like that. You've got Pulse in towards dark. Nice kind of early warning systems to either sites. And the others can just work off the back of it. Fry is a little bit of the, the red kipper as such. They want him to believe in this maybe a little more. Hope he could get some room to work. They could change up off the back of it, but Pulse finds him very easily. Mick making a bit of an individual move here until he does get the support coming in from Trials through Connector. And that bomb is going towards ramp. This will be an A hit, and it's got, 36 seconds to come through.
We'll see if they can do anything with this one. Bomb down, like you said, at A ramp, and it's Mick coming in with Trials as well, trying to find the first pick. That's some damage towards Shadow, but that's all he'll do. Csgo with the AWP, starting to do some work now, finds a kill on Aaron. Time ticking away. Trials waiting for the rotation frags, but they won't be coming in. It's going to be Neil Zeno who's coming from short. Looking a bit desperate now. This has been Infused. They don't really look their best, but that's a nice shot from Trials. Now it's a 2-on-2. Bomb should be planted, but the smoke that's dissipated on towards CT Spawn.
Nice. Now they can plant. Neil's... There was no safety there for Mick to actually plant. That was the problem. That's why you needed Trials to actually find some sort of safety in CT. One of the 2 kills is perfect between them. Now Neil's on the playback in. Mick already going to be repositioning towards default, 1 towards CT. He's going to spot the shoulder there, I'm pretty sure, if not even the Shadow in there. Trials, lovely little watch of his teammate. A bit of a fight back in. That round started to look a little dire there.
It did. I thought Method had that one tied up, but Trials doing a tremendous job there, getting towards CT Spawn, finding 2 big frags as well, applying the pressure and giving his teammate Mick an opportunity to get that bomb down and leaving Neil Zenu in a very difficult situation indeed there. We saw he got vision of the first player there, but found out, taken down from CT Spawn, and it will be 3-2 now. Still in favour of Method. They will be buying into this round. I see Csgo bringing out the AWP once again. I'd like to see him get a bit aggressive. It goes towards Connector, but a Molotov's down there. Can't really challenge. Will be trying to find the first shot. Indeed, he does. He does take a bit of damage. I thought that would do more to him. He seemed like he bought himself a couple of seconds there while the Flames were making their way towards his position, but finds the first shot. That's what he had to do here. He has to work hard for these frags. You can see his teammates down to 2 pistols, lacking utility as well. He knows he has to find that first kill. Takes down Red Snake to open things up.
Can't ask much more, really, as well. Getting away with 75 HP is just lovely too. Smoke in towards window. And now we see that mid-control building. But you can see the response really from the CT side. They lose out somewhere, they try and push elsewhere. Now, Fry actually finding Pulse is pretty big. There is still 1 player towards ramp, and that's Neil, so he could be a real thorn in their side. He does only have a CZ. But it looks like Fry's actually checking on it. Lovely work from Fry. That's good work for him to just check through all of the options.
That timing, that's like just CS in a nutshell right there. Like 1 second difference, like Neil gets that kill all day long, looks away just at the last second and gets taken down for it. That can be a very key frag indeed, but it's Infused to find it. It's going to be a 4-on-3 situation. Csgo, though, still with the AWP, watching towards A ramp. Smoke's available here. Doesn't look like that he's want to use them just yet. I would say smoke off CT Spawn is a necessity at this point. They are lining one up. Molotov used towards Sandwich. Surely the first smoke goes towards CT Spawn, but they don't want it. Mick gives this kill away for free, essentially, there.
Yeah, I'm really, really curious where Fry didn't put that down. He had the smoke. He had every option to do stuff, but I don't know. 20 seconds now remain. It's Fry and Aaron, and nothing's worked out. Yeah, you've got to say it's almost over. Aaron, certainly talented, but 13 seconds. does get a full plant in. Okay, this becomes a little bit interesting now, but ignoring the fact of Connector, takes a gamble. It doesn't work out.
Yeah, they went for what we call a contact play. They're trying to surprise the CT defense by walking into the bomb site, hopefully catching a CT with sniper, rotating, maybe not ready for it, but on the AWP side of CT spawn, I think you have to smoke that. Even a flashbang would have been enough just to bait out the shot, but nothing, walking out like that. Mid got punished for it, and then the round seemed to fall apart. They got a frag in return, and the bomb did get planted, but it still seemed very comfortable for Method towards the end of that situation. And we can see now Method still discussing their approach here. They have shown a nice mixed bag of strategies here on the CT defense. Good to see them getting aggressive there, pushing towards Palace, towards middle, finding those first picks. I actually like what I'm seeing so far from them in terms of the tactical approach here. And we'll see whether Genko can keep up that good performance with the AWP. I'd like to see him move around his position every single round. So this time, indeed, going towards B. He's been towards middle, he's been towards A. And we have got an underpass push coming in from what I believe was Pulse. This is a partial buy from Infuse. 5 players towards A will be a smoke attack, CT spawn, steps, jungle, flash over, and try and get that bomb down. Still, you do have a chance to win these rounds, although it's a little bit unlikely. We'll see what they can do with this one.
I'm just hoping that Method go full retake. No, don't like the way that Stanley's just pushing into this. They're going to go full in towards jungle. That's quite lucky. He comes back around on this one. That could have gone very poorly.
Not by design. That was a little bit lucky for him.
But he makes the most of it. Yeah. But still, that was very fortunate for his favour there. Red Snake now in trouble, and he knows it. There's a matter of time. The smokes are dissipating. You're left in no man's land. They don't have the bomb plant yet. And there we go. Pulse now just kind of adding insult to injury. As Fry surrounded all fronts. We're going to find Stanley there, but you're not going to get out of this one alive. As much as I'd love the idea of it, not going to happen.
There it is, another round for Method, looking pretty good here, I have to say, on the CT side of Mirage. That was the partial buy, like I said, for Infused, meaning they're trying to get the bomb down there. Sure, with the running gun potential of the Tech-9s, maybe not so much anymore with the nerf, right? It's not as powerful as it once was, but still has range, and it can be a very powerful pistol indeed. But 5-2, another buy coming in for Infused. Red Snake with the Tech-9. Certainly the in-game leader, not the highest frag. If anyone was going to be on a pistol, he probably wanted to be him. He has shown us some good Tech-9 rounds on Cobblestone, so why not? We'll see what he can do with it.
And he's doing his role here. He's essentially selling that there's a lot more presence in mid than there actually is. He's got a smoke he can play up towards short if he wants, or back into connector, allow for the plant to come through. Plenty of use, but it's Mick really, the headliner here with Trials. They've already worked through towards A. This is the, I guess, more dry hit they were looking for before. The up's not quite into place yet for Genko, and there's Red Snake. That's lovely. Good timing, good pressure, make them uncomfortable. You see Pulse has to respond to it now, but look at him go. Red Snake isn't just going to be sitting resting on his laurels. He's already through towards window. That was completely unawares. This could be huge.
Oh, yes, it could. Yeah, sure, Red Snake doesn't have a weapon, but he does have the element of surprise. Or does he? Weber, too good, very aware of the situation. But Fry, he is fighting back, but only gets 1 kill in return. It got exciting, Lauren. Certainly that kill coming from Red Snake as well. I was surprised he didn't manage to pick up a weapon, but tried to have the quick approach, jumping up in towards that window position. Pulse called it, though, and he said he couldn't find him. And it looked like they're getting a bit frustrated in the Infused camp there now. I heard you did not call. Was that something that one of the younger players let slip by, maybe a key piece of information? Neil seems to be punishing them for it. We'll just listen to this now, they're kind of getting some insight.
And just hold for the push through bench. That's all you need to do. You don't need to worry about CT, just don't even go that side. That's all you need to do. We're the advantage, I don't want to throw it away. Well, the smokes are bad, that's why.
We need a CT.
Who's smoking jungle? I'll smoke jungle. That's my jungle.
Well, as you can hear, just discussing the approach into the next round, it sounds like some sort of A execution coming from Infused, and we'll see what that works out for them. You can hear them discussing the smokes, who's going to throw what. It seems like it's a bit of a bespoke tactic for this particular round. They're kind of coming up a bit on the fly, and we'll see if it works out for them. But you can definitely sense a bit of tension there in the Infused camp.
And I'm pretty sure it's almost what we saw before with that very quick jungle pressure. Essentially, you can negate any presence from that AWP if you do the close sight smoke, and then you do the smokes, kind of the change up once towards jungle, where it allows you a bit of a route through where you can find that pressure. So again, we'll see if that's maybe what they're looking for. You have seen the punishment coming out from CT. Genko is there. Weber dismantled it with that nice awareness coming through in the last round. Let's find out what they go for again. Maybe not this round, we'll want to be seeing it. Maybe see into the buy. We'll have to wait and find out what Infuse's plan is. But you are hearing a little bit of a rumbling of, you know, not so happy on the Infused boys.
No, they don't seem like they're in a great position right now. But Genko, he certainly is. He gets that first shot, but here we go. The fast play with the Tech-9s is going to be Weber, though. We've been building him up all night, starting to deliver some headshots now. There's 2 of the M4A4. Not done just yet, it seems. His teammate Genko rotates in, and there's the final frag. Good, confident frags from Weber in general. Looking quite stern there, I have to say. Like we said, no fist bumps, no sign of emotion whatsoever, but his head's in the game, and he's concentrating on the kills, Lauren, and that's fine by me.
Yeah, no worries.
Just leave you on B and then just chance it.
So they're going to stack the A site, and we know Infused are planning some sort of tactical execution towards A as well. I like this insight we're getting right now.
Nice.
Let's see if it builds up into the bloodbath I'm imagining right now. So this
Let's see. I'm wondering if they do the smoke it. They only have, what, 2 left, Trials and Fry. They're going in dry on this one, basically. Niels can smoke out Palace. I want to see how they get past Genko, basically. Where's the plan in that? They've double stacked CT almost here. Weber's playing an off angle too. This is very tricky. That's how they want to do it, faced with 3 players. But then there's Weber, a new addition, a new change up, and they have really caused a problem. And look at Niels waiting patiently to strike, and it's down to Red Snake here in the 1v2. Certainly possible. But he's going to have to dig deep here. Bomb down right in their eyesight. He needed that shot to land crisply, cleanly, so he could focus on the next target. But locked out now, 17 HP. And not much hope in this one.
Not much hope at all. Certainly not one of the star players, Red Snake. More of the brains of the operation. 17 HP, but there's a shot. Something to work with here now. It's that Angel duel once again. Neil Zenio versus Red Snake. This time, Neil coming out on top, and Red Snake doesn't look too happy at that one. We can see the different approaches there. We did hear that Method were going to stack towards A. We saw Method having Weber in the B side in the previous round. Funny headshots. This time he comes towards A. Bit of a stack. Hits the shots required. Bit dicey towards the end. The 2v1 comes down to the 1v1, but Neil delivers the goods and finds them around and breaks. It's 2 for Infused and another buy available, but not the best of buys. You can see Trials just down to the deagle. They're opting for utility. So his teammates with the AK-47's the armor. He's gone with the smoke and 2 flashbangs. What's the play here? Nothing to work with, really. They're relying on purely the aim of the AKs here. But Mirage, not one of those maps you can really get away with absolutely nothing. But Genko might be smoked out here. They'll have to use one more of their smokes here, or Aaron just takes the clean duel. Genko spots the foot of him, waiting for him to make another mistake here.
Double face towards middle. Oh god, that's very odd. It really is. You can see the intent, the theory, but it doesn't pay off very well when Genko can almost get away like that, and then the support comes in through connector or short. This is a little bit worrying for Infused. They've really dropped off here.
Yeah, this is their map pick as well, so not looking too fantastic on the T side here, I have to say. So, what have they got left to work with here? 2 AK-47s, Trials on that Deagle as well. It's up to Red Snake, trying to find that frag. That's a bit of damage there towards the A side, but not finding the frag just yet. 1 minute remaining. We have Trials in the underpass, but the CTs with control towards short. Weber, very assertive player, will be calling for his teammates. He's happy to hold B right now. He knows what they're up to. Falling back, he still has the smoke to work with. He can smoke off towards apartments. Ideally, do about the 35-second mark. He buys so much time then. He forces him to go back towards A, essentially. We'll see if he drops that smoke momentarily. That would be an ideal play right now. I would say right about now, you want to be dropping that smoke in the B apartments.
We'll see if he has the same inclination as you. A little bit of a junk peek. Has a go again, spots him out, smoke goes in.
Okay.
He's just going to fall off it. It makes it very hard to get past this position. They have to openly face it, so it does buy time. It will mean that the site is pretty much theirs, but he can play off this angle now. And if he's confident, he will do just that. And it does play in the rest of his team, and Pulse is the one to keep it all in check. Credit where it's due. Method are in their heads here.
Yeah, I like that quite creative play from Weber there. The idea, obviously, I was suggesting you could smoke towards apartments. That's one idea, but the fact is he right-clicks the smoke in front of him, meaning he's safe in their bench position. They can't rush him down unless they want to go grey screen. He funnels them towards the bomb side there, and his teammates can mow them down from the window position. That's quite a cool idea as well. And it's Method, you're absolutely right, looking very good at this point. Infused certainly dropping off here as we enter round number 12. They have to go with another partial buy here. The buys have been a bit all over the place, I have to say. Haven't really looked that confident. We haven't really seen the AWP come out at all. And it's Fry now. One of his teammates going fast towards short, but it's Pulse, and he'll be finding the headshot there from the Tech Knight. The Tech Knight's have been good for Infused. Can they get anything more here?
Yeah, Niels is in a horrible predicament here. You can see that he's now pinched. The playthrough connector is his worst nightmare. They can now just crossfire from either side, jump up on the box. And now here's Weber, though. He has been an integral piece in the Method puzzle. Stanley, if he can just hold the angle, play it off calmly, this is what it can happen. Now it's Weber down up against Mick and well. Look, yeah, that's just Weber through and through. 5 HP, the molly burning.
A bit of showmanship here now, Lauren.
There he is.
Gets the AWP. His first bite.
That was almost a smile and then...
Almost a smile, yeah.
Then a little bit of a head shake too.
I think Mick almost played himself there. Did you see, as soon as Weber saw the trajectory of where that incendiary came from, he's like, well, there you are. Thank you for doing my job for me. I'll take you down. No problem at all. Like, sure, he's trying to lock him in CD spawn, but it's very likely he's already changed position at that point. I think he needed to keep that incendiary in play for the bomb. Drop it on the bomb itself, and then maybe...
There it is, yeah. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, so that's a bit of a problem. Weber just took that all day long. He's a player that's going to love that sort of moment. He's happy to take the duel. As soon as you know where he is, know where you are, he'll take you down.
It's the first time, as much as he is an assertive player, we kind of saw him locked out of the game a couple of times. Cobblestone, not able to really get into it much, always on the kind of other side of things. Here, you can see the amount he can play back into this. I guess that's Mirage a little bit more than Cobblestone, but anyway, we'll come back to that later as Aaron's already going to find Weber. That's a big scalped claim. Bit of a headhunter move from Aaron. as that's going to alleviate so much pressure. Let's see if Method can find a way back into this, though. They fall back to CT side aggression when they go down to the 4 players, and it looks like Stanley's already going to be keeping that in mind. Pushing up through those B apartments, getting a little bit of control, and middle is pretty much in the hands of Infused for now.
Not this from Stanley, though. This is the reaction from the CTs, knowing they've lost that player towards middle in the form of Weber. Stanley has to step up here and try and get a frag in return. Csgo is a reaction-based game, but the reaction's coming in from Infused this time, as they find 2 more kills and should guarantee the round here. As Genko and CT spawn the last line of defense on the A bomb site. I don't think he goes to this one. It's not really worth it. Might as well just keep the money up. Go for some frags, sure, but don't fully commit. Let's try and keep Infused modest going forward.
Red Snake just taking a deep breath, hoping the shot just doesn't randomly land through the smoke. He's
really
fine.
Would hate to see that, wouldn't you?
It's just not fun, is it? And they are going to walk away with these guns. Looking where they are, there could be a chase. Aaron's not too far off. Genko's aware that could be a chance, a bit of a possibility. So he's you know, keeping it in mind. He's going to hear these steps. Oh, that's a tag, really? All right, fair enough. That's fine.
He's staying alive, isn't he? He's doing a good job with that USP. Manages to take down 1 more kill there, but Infused looking pretty calculated that round, doing a good job. But they got the first pick there. That's what they needed, right? 1 pick, get the 5-on-4, and it looks like it's coming together a little bit more now. Still a lot of work to do here, but get 10-5, Lauren. I'm still not that mad about the half. I'm still thinking this is my map pick. I can convert this in the next half, but 2 players do survive.
No, I'm there with you. I think that Infused know that as well. I'd hate to be a player and have someone like Neil's behind me half the time, though. You know what I mean? When it's going well, it feels great, but then when someone like that is quiet, you feel it even more. You start to feel that.
Well, that's what you see from some of the coaches. Like, sure, a lot of them are very emotional, but they're still, when you see like Zonic, for example, right? He's still behind Astralis and still like giving them the massages and telling them everything's all right. When they miss a shot, telling them it's all good. Instead of arguing to them what they did wrong, he's just kind of reassuring them, telling them everything's gonna be okay. Just focus on the next round, right? And I think that's what you need. Sure, it's great to have a player or a coach who's there when you're winning, but you need him to be there when you're losing as well, I think.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think that's the balance I'd like to be seeing struck there. If this lineup continues as it is, if they keep going in this, I'd like to see that being their next go-to. But for now, Infused in a far greater position, at least money-wise at this point, considering Method, CZ's out 5-7. Still have Genko and Stanley looking pretty decent at this point. How do they use them?
Well, we'll see what they can do here. It is certainly the force by the Method, but first kill not quite coming in just yet as Stanley goes down to 42 points of health. A Red Snake with good information here. Could find the first kill. He does spot a pixel of pulse there. 180, he's trying to take him down. Doesn't quite happen for him just yet. But decent information here. He's getting towards short, maybe towards the window room. That's the flashbang we wanted to see earlier. We didn't see that before, and it was a bit of a blunder, but do have control of the ladder room now.
There it is. Small things can make a big difference, though.
Just that 1 flash would have made that round okay for them, you know? Yep. That's the only flash they needed.
Ooh, Niels. Niels could be emphasizing. That's nice from Mick, though. Genko was one of the main men you wanted to look at as well. He had the bigger gun. He could have done something, but... Oh, Niels. Niels, this could be everything. He's going to hear it all. He's got to. They have not... Fry checks that? He must have heard the jump up, maybe? I don't know, but that is gutting.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how he knew that was happening. Surely if you know, you hear a player, you don't just check, I'll go check that in 6 seconds time. You turn around and kill him straight away, right? But still, I guess it all worked out in the end. It's going to be a pretty clean round there from Infused. Nothing really happening with the Method pistols now, and presumably that means the last round goes in their favor as well. That was a force buy in that round just then, meaning they probably don't have that much money to work with, which is reflected right now on your screens. 2 UMPs for Method, a lesser SMG, and 3 pistols as well. It's not ideal after such a successful campaign on the first half. Like I said, Infused get 10-5, they're right back in this game.
Mollies continue to burn through connector. Pulse, that's a shot. So Mick lands a blinder, back and forth we go. Trials will be there to trade eventually. Doesn't want to risk it, doesn't go too early. He obviously doesn't want to lose his rifle, but he will be there just fine nonetheless. Now, let's look where the 2 situations for these teams start to really build. Fry solo playing out towards A at the moment. He has no one there with him, kind of doing all on his lonesome. 2 towards middle, 1 towards B. If he's not really stacking out anywhere, going for anything fast, just taking the time, feeling out where the CT side are.
Well, a chance though, at least, where they get their first pick. Final round of the first half here. Method, they pick this one up, steal it away from Infused. They're in a great position going to that second half and likely to tie up the series here at 1-1. But Infused, we know they're desperate at 2-0 here. They're not going to go down without a fight. And we'll see whether they can manage to convert this last round. They have the advantage in terms of the weaponry. 4 AK-47s, all of which are positioned towards the B apartments. This is what we call the contact play. We described this before. Go in until the CTs find out where you are, and then that's your cue to go. Hopefully find the first frag and go in together, but maybe have to drop a few smokes here. But it's Weber. Another lovely shot at the Deagle.
And he's got time to readjust here as well. Where does he pick? Which angle does he hold? He's got so many options, so many threats aboard, and Trials just find him. That's going to clear out that B side. Bombs to be planted. Genko and Niels trying to play it back through, but Fry already finds Niels. It's just Genko trying to keep this favorable towards Method. They will retain numbers, but a 10-5 half is very, very viable, and there it is. He runs in, he tries to get it done, but Infused just gather enough. 5 rounds gives you a window to work with.
It's definitely enough. 5 rounds in anyone's book is still a winnable game. It was looking dire. They were down, 10-2 at one point as well, but they managed to claw their way back into it. I think both teams will be okay with that half. Like we said, Infused definitely went a little bit too quiet, I think. Method is difficult to gauge them. They never really have any emotion whatsoever, but still very decent half from them. Great assertive stuff in terms of the CT dynamic play, changing the setup, getting aggressive there, moving the AWP around.
Yep.
Weber looking strong. He's in Bs, in As, pushing middle. He looked like he was coming to life there on that CT half, but pistol could be very important here. If you're the Method side, you win this pistol, you potentially get 13-5 on the board, which at this sort of position, I would say is very likely you win the game. If Infused win it, they're right back into this, and we could have another 16-14 game in our hands. I kind of hope that happens again, as I loved the tension towards the end of Cobblestone. I thought that was quite exciting. Just to the sense you could see the nerves coming through and the blunders happening, like really easy sort of situation. That boost highlighted where they were mentally at that point. It's checked out. Everyone's kind of panicking, arguing, bickering, and you could see why Counter-Strike is such an awesome game and how it kind of leads people down those emotional rabbit holes, you know.
Certainly does. All right, let's see if we go any deeper down this rabbit hole. As 10-5, Method win this. Let's say they get this pistol, they run with it for a little bit. Things look good for them.
Here we go.
Weber is on the dig, and it's, ooh, that's a little bit uncomfortable for him. Already getting dinked down. He still can do so much, but Trials, that's lovely. Keeps attention there, does damage, but Django fights back. Again, big work. Weber still kicking as well, keeps things pretty interesting, but bomb planted. It's a 3v3 retake. Still very capable for Infuse to do some damage here.
Yeah, very tense now. Genko missing a few shots, but does damage towards Fry. You really need to nail that. That's an easy kill, really. But 3-on-3 still. CT's with the defuse kit and a smoke as well. That's the key situation. But Fry, he does go down. Jenkins starting to hit some shots now, making up for it. There's the double kill. And now just down to Mix. Surely he doesn't get anything in this round. Don't give him anything. Set up the crossfire. Make him get on that bomb.
Oh, that's a shot and a half. Here we go, 1v1. How much can you do here? Ring a roses we go, and Niels is buying time, and that's all he's got to do. As said, not pretty, not something you want to look back on again, but it gets the job done.
It looks like just when things are cemented, you've got the round, you've got that trifecta of doom, everyone starts facing him and giving an opportunity to find a kill. Make him touch a bomb, boys. Just make him get on there. No, stop facing him. But still, it was a nice shot from Mick, I have to say, to even get it down to the situation. He could have won the round, but like you said, Weber running around the bomb site, making things impossible, and it has to be the force bite from Infuse. Lose this, it's that deadly situation like I described before. 13-5, touching distance of taking the second map. Big round here.
Gone for it with whatever they can. Really 5-7s, UMPs, CZ, Scout with Fright. If he gets a couple of tags, this becomes very, very scary. You have two rifles up, Pulse on the Galil, AK on Genko. Weber looking to really be a nuisance at B. Considering he plays B, you know what it's like when he feels that pressure as well, so he wants to make it as uncomfortable as possible. You can see that Infuse having to forgo completely towards playing in middle. Smoke towards window comes through. There it is. Maybe start to build that mid-pressure now.
Tension mounting now. Infuse with the Scout, the UMP. This is a force buy. Mick with the SMG trying to do what he can, but pretty standard hold from the CT so far. As Method get control of middle and the B apartments as well. Not really clear as to where they'll finish as of yet. Going up towards short, I guess it'll be the B split eventually. Mick Molotov'd off. Surely we flash before he has a chance to find a frag here. Nilzino get a face check here. Take some damage here, but Mick with the flashbang himself has to battle.
Yeah, Stanley's position as well is a nice bit of, I guess, life insurance down the line. You're going to have the pinch in there anyway, and it's just nicely done from Method. All-encompassing, very hard to deal with. Trials completely locked out. And actually, most of them were, to be fair. That was a very nicely played out round from Method. This was the thing. We looked at Method, and this is the potential you see quite often. Individual players, a lot of, I guess, capability as a team, but internal issues, whatever it may be, has clearly hindered this side, because you just haven't seen the consistency of this.
Absolutely, I tend to agree. Well, that was the force buy from Infuse, Lauren. And now, not finding a single frag means they have to go full eco to the next round, and potentially that first gun round as well. They don't have the AWP, they don't have the diffuse kit, they don't have the full array of utility as well. This is why I've been saying it for years in CSGO. I feel like the pro level scene, especially that force buy on the city side, is going to start. We're going to start seeing a lot less of that, which we did in the major especially. But Infused there in a difficult place. They needed a bit of a miracle here, so all 5 players going in for it. Didn't work out for them. Not a single kill picked up. And there it is. Another round for Method on the board, and it has to be the full eco now from the boys at Infused. Not really hearing the sort of fire here. Let's see if we can maybe get an inkling as to what they're planning for the next round.
We should go towards like put pressure on A and like peek it a little bit.
Yeah, I just want to peek A. Like.
All right, just simple stuff. They know they'll get the full eco, right? So just stick together as a 5-man unit. Go for that pick, sure. It's going to be Pulse, I believe, who goes for that pick. He's in towards a B, or I should say A apartments, palace, if you will. And so far, so good. Weber utilising that Molotov to try and flush out his CTs there. Not doing anything for it just yet.
And you can see Weber going through the mental checklist he has to be. Molly out this area, check for maybe the boost spot if someone's trying to spot from further back, where he was playing quite nicely with the deagle as well. So it's always nice to play back into a spot that you play, because you go through what it's like to have to deal with it yourself. And he's drawn a lot of players over there. Of course, Infuse going to respond to what they can. They have limited amounts, so why not try and make something stick with it? You know, stack out B, maybe something works. They have the flash, they have trials as well. He's over by A. So he's the one maybe swing player that could maybe make something happen here. Very, very unlikely. Red Snake. Let's point out that. And the flash doesn't quite get him. Molly, nicely run through in the end. Niels was the one to find that. Not even Jenko. So at the end of the day, mid control has been won. Hopefully they don't get too split apart and, you know, disintegrate. Let's look at what Trials is already up to. This could be a worrying issue. If he spots the bomb before he strikes, that could be a danger. Let's keep eyes on Jenko here, because he can hinder the bomb plot. Oh, lovely awareness from Niels. Not sure if he showed up maybe on the map for one of the other players, but truly keeping that in mind.
Well, there we go. Trials shut down. We did see him in the palace, the only player with an upgraded pistol there, but another clean sweep here. This is certainly the bonus round now for Method. They know they've had the force pipe and the CTs in the second round. They've got SMGs. We're probably going to see a few TD players out of head armor as well. If I'm on the Method side right now, I'm Dilzini, I'm saying we're doing something fast. We're hitting them as quickly as we possibly can, denying them refrag, staying as a 5-man unit, and just sticking together, using those SMGs at close range, and something. This is a kind of tell. You're not doing a default in these sort of rounds. You're doing something off the bat. You're just calling what you have in mind. You're going for it. As I said, 4 players of our head armor, Lauren, up against a Galil and 3 SMGs as well. This is such a difficult round for Infuse. No orbs, no diffuse kits, no incendiaries, and towards B. Keep it simple. Try and find this first pick, and this is looking very promising for Method, I have to say.
At this rate, Henry, I actually believe that you're an in-game leader once upon a time.
Right.
You know, this is all looking a little bit likely. Here we go. Red Snake forced off. This, of course, a little vulnerable. No head armor here. Could be torn up by these, and he doesn't even get the chance to. It's the AK to take him down. Jenko is there. Dismembers him, and Fry is fighting back. The bomb will be planted in the meantime. We're going to see the retake build. The man, you could maybe look at his Trials again, see if you can get the timing right, but Pulse is considering this already. Eyes trained towards this very angle, but fluffs his lines, the shot doesn't land, and now Trials is unleashed. Flash comes in, that's short now blind. Niels feels isolated, he is, and he's got a 1v3. Oh, this is big, a 1v1! Trials just round the corner, Niels. Does he know it, will he guess, will he get the timing right? Oh, it's a disaster for him. He fought so hard, but in the end, Trials will come through. Oh, and even with the time being this close, the defuse should be his.
The problem is, though, they only keep 1 player alive there. The defuse will be coming in. That was the bonus round for sure. Method have got money for days here. They can bring out the double orb setup on the T stuff if they wanted to, just to kind of paint a picture for you. They've got so much cash available. Niels, there it is, a bit of a smile. I saw some emotion there. Maybe someone cracked a joke and said, well done, mate, that was quite good. Didn't quite win the round, but it was a good effort, you know, A for effort. But just a headline there as well. 1 player surviving on a really difficult buy for the CTs. They can't really invest that spectacular around this one. They couldn't save much, and they'll save 1 M4 and have to buy around. It'll be like Famises, M4s, lack of utility once again. They need to be working half of these frags. Lose this round, game's pretty much over. This is do or die time for the Infused side.
I just think
we have 20 seconds.
I just think Brandon just make sure, you come out on top mid, you smoke connector, and you run back A. Yeah? Okay. Brandon just jumps down mid, faces connector while I run up short, and then you have 2 outside A.
Incredibly last minute to be calling out.
And Reese, go outside A,
This much.
Neil.
I can swap Carrigan from outside A.
Do it then, do that then.
Just the shots.
Well, just discussing in their tactical timeout how they're going to approach the next situation. It's nice to kind of get an insight as to where the kind of mental state of the team is right now. And we can see they are planning some sort of ad hoc sort of strategy, working out where the picks will come in, where they can position their star players, and hopefully deliver the goods. Like I said, the money for Infuse is going to be poor. A couple of Famises, a scout for Fry. I'm not sure that's the right call, but we'll see if it works out for him. Get to round number 20. I'm not sure how efficient his scout is, but it's certainly not ideal. Pulse looking for aggression. I said the CTs had to work after this, Lauren, and oh my goodness, what on that?
Is he on the gear, Henry?
He might be.
There's something happening here. Can someone... Oof, that was a little bit spicy, to say the least. Well, Pulse is starting to feel it, isn't he? Mix left scratching his head. Well, where's the rest of my team gone? This is all falling apart. You can't say much about that sort of hit.
That was kind of sick, I have to say. Well played, Pulse. Known to be a very talented player. We haven't really seen him much in recent months, but, you know, that's very good indeed.
Very nice.
World-class player, I have to say. I don't see that every day. Well, that was a round that must have been for Infused. But a damn squib in the end, unfortunately for them. Not a single frag picked up. Shut down, but the problem was, like I said, they got only one player surviving there, Pharmacists, Scouts, and they had to try and work after that first pick. That's why they pushed towards Palace, but as I said, lose this round, it's pretty much over. That's a harsh reset now. They get $1,400 per player, which they almost had nothing in that previous round as well, so it's almost guaranteed to beat.
What on earth is that? Can we slow that down and just watch it again and again? Because, as I said, that's world-class level of kind of adjustment on the second then. It's just not often you see it being that crisp, but great stuff for him. This round not so exciting. Well, it shouldn't be. Infused, of course, feeling the pressure from the money, just not building. This could be Method to match point here, get to that 15-round marker. If all goes well, at least. As it should.
We'll see what happens. It's unfortunately for Infused, they have to force buy with the $1,400. The pistols, the armor, they've lost that first frag as well. It's looking very likely to be Method stealing the second map away. It's kind of quite rare to see players, or teams I should say, taking each other's map picks. This is Mirage, what Infused wants to play. It seems to be falling apart for them here, though. That point almost certainly coming in here, but PG-50s and 5.7s. We'll see if they can find anything here. It's Pulse. Great performance towards Palace in the previous round. Can he step up here?
Do the same again, Pulse, would you?
Give us another.
Yeah, so let's, in review, you hit the most filthy kind of adjustment in the round before, and then a player slowly walking away. Nah, it's a bit tricky, that one. Pulse, though, going to hear that molly, finding connection. So this is all kind of, I guess, working out where Infused are. This is a walk in the park. This is what you'd expect from this sort of round. And kind of what you hope to see from Method. Maybe not expecting on this map, not after that first map either, but maybe that little bit of vengeance they want to strike down. If we can't make it, well, neither can you. There's opportunity now. We've left it open to anyone else to try and come in and try and pressure you guys out of this. This is what it does. Maybe Endpoint can now get a chance at it. The others still have a very, very thin chance of maybe doing something. We'll see if the numbers line up afterwards. I'm curious if it does, but the numbers that don't line up, Henry, are the Infused bank account.
Yeah, this is just the worst place you can be in CS. You got map point up against you, the money's in the bin, morale's out the window. You get the picture. It's going to be a fast play from Csgo, gets that first shot, make it a double as he takes down Aaron as well, and that should be it. Map 2 will be going in favor of the Method boys, and there it is. One player remaining. That's poor old Red Snake now. Not the most exciting second map. The first map was great, Lauren. We had some really up and down, emotional roller coaster Counter-Strike there, but this one, not so much. Team Infused didn't really show up, and they've left the server already. Red Snake, they're not believing.
You're not going to have the
surprises there. He's just gone before the map even ends. But there it is. Method, no celebration, of course, but they do win the game. And it will be a split series here, 1-1.
This is the thing that always gets us about Method, isn't it? At least for me, that you see the potential every now and then, kind of like that little ray through the clouds of like, if only everything worked out. Yeah. And then you see, obviously, a bit of a shattered lineup, it feels. And well, at the end of the day, Infused can't be pleased either.
No,
obviously.
I think if they got the 3 points today, that really means they're going to be almost cemented that 4th place, right? But a little bit disheartening for them, but promising stuff from Method. Some of the big names turning up, especially Weber and Pulse as well. That great play, quite exciting. But yeah, Infused definitely be gutted with that one.
Well, I do want to find out how this now leaves the standings and everything else of what I can imagine the analysis guys have been working out while we've been commentating the game. So hopefully they can keep you guys up to speed. But that was a good game to cast there. Yeah. Definitely first map the highlight for me, I think, and probably the same for you. So guys, we're going to head over to the desk and hear what they have to say about that matchup and where it all stands now.
Thank you so much, Pansy. Thank you so much, Henry G. Exciting stuff there, really, that was happening on Map Mirage. The spoils shared in the end, and quite rightfully said, basically trying to make sure neither of them make it to the playoffs. In just a second, we'll have all the analysis.
Whoa, okay, week 6, and we are A, we're tired, B, we're emotional, and I think Neil M is about to cry any point soon. All right, a big shout out to Method for taking that one. It has been very, very intense. Overtime is not really something that we all want to hear. But I'm backstage taking a little bit of a break, and I need to tell you about something that you need to get involved in, and that is not only this Elite Series, but the franchise. Now here is a little bit more info about that.
The 8 franchises that make up the Elite Series are competing in Street Fighter, Counter-Strike and Rocket League, as well as in an overall franchise championship with a prize pool of £75,000. Franchises win points for every game they win in the Elite Series, regardless of the game, with 1 point awarded for each individual victory. Should a team win 2 games in a weekend, they are awarded a bonus point, in addition to the 2 points won for winning 2 games. Should a team win all 3 of their games across a weekend, they will be awarded 2 bonus points, in addition to the 3 points won for winning 3 games. So the maximum return on an individual weekend could be 5 franchise championship points. The teams are ranked by the total number of points won.
I'm so confused. Coming to me. So that's how it looks currently in the franchise. You've got Epsilon Sports at the top of the Gfinity Elite table. Team Infused really taking it with 16 points. Below is Team Envious. Shock one for them today. Prophecy right below them. And then we've got Endpoint with 9 points. XL, Method, who are taking it at the moment. And then Reason Gaming. Now, I did speak to Hoodlum earlier on today from Reason. It was very, very emotional for him, very emotional. Don't forget, you can get involved in the Challenger Series to be a part of the Elite Series. It's very, very exciting.